as Mineski are concerned, because this mixed bag of players, all-star names, have come together very well, gelled very nicely, and have currently put themselves in a position to make the top 4 for the second consecutive weekend at a minor. All means points as well. So it, like, every time you come to a minor, if you can get top 4, grab a few more points, that's going to add up over the course of the season, and they're already off to a good start.
Exactly, and I really like that they've been kind of diversifying themselves with their drafts. I mean, they're picking Venge. Who the hell else is picking Venge? These type of lineups,
and it's working as well. That's the key point. It's working really well when they put that Visage together.
It's a lot of physical damage, and there's a couple heroes that you look at and that Nana plays, and that's maybe the one that's the most predictable. I think he's been playing very similar kind of heroes. His Tinker, his Mirana are the 2 big standout ones.
Flashy ones, the one that can actually do special moves, make certain plays, steal the road, steal edges, steal like this that they need to. They have this system where he's playing the flashy hero. Mushi is gonna play the traditional, old school, very stable, reliable heroes. The anti-mage, the Venge, the Medusa.
The Veno.
Yeah, although the
Don't
build,
say Medusa.
the builds can be questionable the way he buys items, but the guy is doing what he's supposed to do to the team.
Exactly.
For his role.
Except for his pug. Was not the biggest fan of that pug game, but it was also pretty rough for him.
I mean, that's also about stability, isn't it, in the team? Because even though he didn't have a great game with it, it does tell other teams, well, they've chosen the Pugner earlier. They do have some flexibility in this team as to where it can go. So it still keeps them thinking in the draft.
That's for sure.
I think he can actually use the hero well. I saw him last week. He was like spam Pugner a lot in pubs. He may not have a lot of success in pubs. I was watching his games, but I think he understands the hero. What does the hero do? And more importantly, I think the hero fits the role where you want him to be on a hero that plays around with the team, like Avenge, Pugner, Medusa, and the rest of the other 2 cores will be playing. Like Ice will be on the more greedy hero.
It's really true, because even at Star Ladder, when he did play the Pugna, he went for a more unorthodox kind of build. He did go for the same Blink, but he didn't go the standard Dagon build that we've been seeing so often. He goes for this different kind of build that fits the utility lineup for his team.
Yeah, it sort of gives the team a good balance. Sometimes they actually have itemization problems, I would say, especially the second game earlier today.
Yeah.
But I think overall for the team, he's actually in the right place and doing the right things, giving them the balance that Nana is a very flashy player, Ice is a very greedy player. So you need someone to actually balance everything out. He's not too greedy, and he just does his things with the team.
Makes a lot of sense with Daryl being that the big flashy offlaner.
Yeah, talking of flashy offlaners, why don't we do that as our featured matchup? Because I think this of all the matches that we get, putting these 2 head to head is fantastic. Universe on one side, super exciting, does all these great things in game, very mechanically skilled, high skilled in every game. Both flexible, and then you've got this whole weird kind of flashy. I can play anything, anywhere. I can switch to a different lane and swap with different players. It's such a contrast, and yet so good players.
They are both very farm heavy, though, as offlaners. That is the one kind of similarity, but yeah, definitely different, because Universe is usually the more of the big playmaker, while Ice is just this. I mean, he does make the plays, of course, but he plays these heroes that are different.
I think the word best to describe Universe is reliable.
Yes.
He's very reliable as an offlaner.
I mean, we rarely ever get to the end of a match and go, that Universe has had a poor game, hasn't he?
Yeah,
I can't remember the last time we ever said that.
He's he's always there, you know. But the thing is, with Ice is he's up and down, but he can actually go.
I was going to say, do you think his ceiling is higher in terms of what he can perform?
Yes, he definitely has a higher ceiling, but he also makes mistakes, and he has bad games more than Universe. That's why I like the word reliable when it comes to Universe.
They pick Ice more of these risky heroes from time to time, I guess.
Yep.
While Universe plays.
I mean, one guy plays Timber, so the other guy plays Faceless Void.
Yeah.
So
and Jakiro, and
you get the difference between the 2 of them.
Yeah.
And they have to play around both of them very differently as a team. That's the beauty of Dota. You fit in a different piece, and the support had to play differently to accommodate this guy.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah. Do you feel like maybe
you know what? If you actually swap both of them, actually wonder what happens. If you actually swap both of them on their own teams,
right?
There would be no room on EG. If Ice goes to EG, there'd be no room on that team. Everybody would just be farming. Everyone would just be farming. Who's gonna do stuff now?
I'd be super confused about what does he do in that team? How does he even sit down next to any of them? There's not that much room in the
they'd pretty much have to be like, all right, Artur, you're getting sacked every single game. Sumail and Ice are just going to be
Lose
the
your lane on
the farmers.
purpose.
Yeah,
Please defer and be a support.
pretty much.
Yeah.
Pick him some Veno.
It's
That
going
was
to
the
be
case.
fun. Moving towards the draft, what do you expect in this?
We've seen a lot of variety. I don't know. Pugna looks to be probably the most common one
Jakiro,
between them.
I think-
Jakiro as well.
Jakiro.
It's been well used, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Do you think it's been effective though? I mean, it's all
He-
joke
he-
aside. Do you think it's effective?
He's a very effective hero because from a position 5, he does so much. Wave clear, he's good in team fight, he sieges towers well.
Yep.
He's really good in the lane as well. Very hard to take down at level 1. Very tanky.
Yeah, I mean, we saw that in the Na'Vi game, didn't we? I mean,
Yep.
even though he was kind of dead where he was because he had no support, but it took 3 of them to get rid of him in that
And
lane.
he's a very flexible and versatile pick for EG.
Mm.
For Mineski, I'm not sure if they actually want to put ice on that hero because it doesn't.
Right.
It's not his
fit-
style.
Yeah, it doesn't fit his category. I'm sure he can play the hero, but
Yeah.
they probably don't want him to play hero.
I think we'll probably see it picked, but I don't think we'll see it mid again.
Mm.
Not because like they don't believe in it, but I think
Right.
it's just too difficult. It
Yeah, I
requires
mean,
no mistakes.
I mean, I asked Fear at the end, do you think that's it? We're done in the Jakiro Samuel mid thing, and he was like, might say it again.
Yeah.
So I don't think they felt like it was massively disappointing. I mean, statistically, it was very poor, and
Sure.
Samuel tweeted back to me afterwards, said sorry for disappointing you,
Yeah.
and then said Bloodseeker overpowered. So maybe it's just that one matchup. Maybe he didn't like that particular matchup.
Yeah.
You have to
Matchup-
make no mistakes.
Matchup specific. I think
Yeah.
Jakiro definitely does really well against. Example, very easy example would be a TA.
Yeah.
Jakiro just steamrolls.
Oh yeah,
over
I mean
TA.
they're destroyed.
So if you get those kind of matchups that Jakiro can actually own the matchup, I think it will still be viable to have
But
Jakiro on
then,
mid lane.
is there any pro teams who are going to pick a TA into a Jakiro even if they think he might play in mid?
We haven't
Oh,
seen TA much. On
Yeah,
that at
no,
all.
it's
That's kind of
very
the thing.
rare, isn't it?
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
kind of just fallen off because
Yeah.
of these heroes that
Veno,
counter him. Veno,
Necro.
Viper, Necro, Viper, or I just said Viper. Razor,
Viper.
Viper again.
Viper. Also good heroes as well.
I want
Um,
to see Sumail on more flashy heroes, though. To be honest,
I mean,
I
you want to
some
see him on the
Storm
storm, right?
Yeah,
I
of
mean, that's
course.
what you want to see him. Maybe we get it in game 1. We're underway in our draft for game 1, and bans in particular are going to be important here. When
Experience. Assassin
Bans
for
in-
EG.
I think bans in particular of the play style. Both teams are going to put a lot of focus on the lane. Winning lanes is going to be extremely crucial. In the first series earlier today, EG focused so much on winning the lanes. Once they sensed weakness, they just went hero tri-lane against Vici, and they dominated the laning phase. And Spirit Breaker is like a hero that they are relying a lot on in the first series. Crit was playing in one game. I think Fear was playing it the other game because there was an IO. Yeah, Crit was playing the IO. So
Yep.
they both play the hero, and it's a very aggressive hero that allows you to snowball and win your lanes very well.
And have that battle in the mid lane, of
Yeah,
course.
you see the first two bans. Just look at the first two bans. One is Spirit Breaker, one is NS. Those two heroes serves the same purpose in a game. They're gonna try to fight it out in the lanes, feel some advantage, and later in the game they give you vision. And IO, so they ban IO as well. I think IO is one of EG's like deadliest heroes. It's very difficult to fight their IO.
Crit's
E-
one of the best players of it.
Yeah,
for a very long
EG
time.
and Liquid, I would say both of the teams are very good at the hero.
Yeah. Do they ban the Nyx? Is
Or
the
the
bigger
Lich
thing.
though, or the Lich. Because
Or the
Lich
Lich, I
could, because
guess.
Lich could be really instrumental in this matchup because it's gonna be a lot focused on the lanes, winning the lanes. So this kind of heroes could pop up.
you don't
Or-
feel like they kick out the Shaker here, because that's also one of those.
You mean for
Mineskis.
Mineski?
Yeah.
I think they probably shouldn't though. For me personally, I think Shaker is really good against Navi because of how Navi play and
Right.
how they're so aggressive on the mid lane. Actually cover the mid laner, and in the team fights, it's really good against Chan because you have a lot of creeps around. So I probably expect them to make a switch up. Like even during Starlighter, every series they were doing different kind of openings against a different opening. That's a very good sign of a well prepared team.
So they do take out that Nyx.
So Lich is in the pool.
Lich, Pugna,
Earth Spirit.
Earth
Yeah,
Spirit.
Earth Spirit. Earth Spirit also could be good. Like,
and,
oh,
yeah,
there's
and Veno.
of
That
And,
other-
course.
and the
of
Venom's there
course,
as a
yeah.
first pick.
Of course, they won all their Venom games at Starlight.
Yeah.
They did win. Yeah, Mushi actually played it incredibly well. He did exactly his job. Did exactly what he needed to do. No.
I like the
Minimal
fact
mistakes.
that they've studied, right? They've gone, okay, we have to play a specific way to beat Na'Vi. It's a specific type of draft. It's not massively in our comfort zone, so we're going to specifically draft it. Then we can go, but when we play EG, it's much more standard. We can play the way we want to play.
That's really like a good sign of a team being prepared and understand how to. You don't want to draft the same thing over and over again against any opponent. Though it's not gonna work very well. Like even when you look at Liquid, why are they so successful? There's like 2-3 ways of drafting, and they choose it specific. They tailor make it against their opponents.
Even though sometimes I get a feeling that it does feel like they just want to play the same thing every game.
Except for Miracle, he wants to play a different thing every game.
I mean, he's going for some sort of record, I think, isn't it?
Brood, Venom every game.
Brood, Venom. I mean, this game we could see Broodmother do too, dude. Both sides play it.
Could do. Yeah. Pugna first pick for EG. They did value Pugna pretty highly.
Do they take the Earth Spirit, you think?
Who has more green now? I think either side would want the Earth Spirit in this scenario. Earth Spirit Venom. That is so
I don't think you want to give that.
Oh, that's so difficult to fight into.
Yeah. It's very good versus the Pugna too.
But EG likes Kunkka as well. Kunkka is also really, really good instead. Those kind of heroes.
They just take the Lich.
Still the Lich, like I mentioned, like this hero is going to be very prominent in this series.
I mean, it does mean that Mineski could leave Earth Spirit if they wanted to. Do you feel like that might be a phase 2 ban though? Because EG know that they like it?
I still think Earth Spirit and Venom is also very good together now. I
so
think
much team
there's no real risk in them picking it now, is there?
Yeah, but I think Japs might actually consider one more hero, Clockwork. He likes Clockwork against Pugna.
Do you think this early?
Yeah.
He's played it. He's played on the 4 role as well.
Yeah.
Good call.
Good call.
I still prefer the Earth Spirit, but I know that guy likes this hero.
Yeah.
He can buy.
I mean, if he values it more now and he feels like it's a phase 2 ban anyway.
You know, I asked him, and you know what he told me? Oh, it's easier to farm with Clockwork. I can buy a Midas. I can rocket the creeps and farm. Earth Spirit, I actually don't have that many opportunities to farm. He actually said that to me. I'm like, you greedy player.
I mean, he's not wrong, right? He's pretty true.
Well, there's nothing wrong with greed.
No.
Greed is good.
Yo, so if you pick Earth Spirit here, you give away that's 100% your 4. Here, they can still run it in 2 different positions.
Yeah, so. I guess that's true. That is true.
Relatively early AM ban, just to make
Pugna.
sure.
Pugna. I think we've seen it earlier today, where a team picks Pugna, they ban out the AM.
This is the same opener EG used versus Thunder.
So EG is probably gonna like fit in like a Kunkka somewhere. I think they're gonna maybe pick Kunkka Lich, a lot of team fight with the Pugna.
They need catch.
Yeah, Kunkka gives them catch, and it's really good against Venom and Clockwork because of the boat, the buff. That ban I like it, because they have Pugna.
Yeah, you're super squishy versus Visage in both ways. There's the Soul Assumption nuke gets amplified
it's
in
the
your
birds,
1 armor.
No, you can't channel your ultimate.
And
your
the birds, exactly.
The birds just literally own you. So for Mineski, they removed the Bloodseeker. That was, I think, every game they picked Bloodseeker in the series against VG. It's a hero that is very annoying and very lane dominating as well.
Yeah, VG had it twice and EG had it the first game around. Also Bloodseeker Pugna. Pretty annoying combo.
So the Brood is still open. They ban out the Lone Druid. So Brood is open. What else is open? Necro's open.
Yep.
So like, a lot of the heroes are quite open here.
I think they still pick Crit's hero here. One of the catching heroes.
It's gonna be either Kunkka or Taz. What else does he play?
Wyvern.
But
Wyvern and Lich.
Then will be Wyvern and Lich. Then I don't know if I like that too much.
I'm trying to think of heroes that aren't so afraid of the Clockwork, but I don't think that's really
like a Chinese team will probably pick.
You know what I mean? Yeah. So you can get out of the cogs, something along those lines. But I think Kunkka is just the most comfortable. I mean, but that's like literally doing the exact same draft that they had versus Thunder.
Yeah, it's good with the Pugna and the Lich. Gives them team fight. It protects the Pugna. Gives them catch. I think it's quite good.
Yeah, same thing.
So they are gonna have a very team-orientated opening here. But Clockwork's good against all 3 heroes, to be fair.
Yes.
If the Clock has a good game, you get Blade Mail. So in that scenario, you would actually consider maybe giving a Clockwork a core position, promoting him to the off lane, because Clockwork is so good against like at least half of the heroes here that EG drafted. So maybe you would consider giving the Clockwork a core position.
They can still keep it very open-ended, but
like picking a Mirana, keeping everything open.
Or do you think maybe they grabbed for the Silencer very early in the last time around, and this is something they have a clock to and restart the fight.
Silencer's good against Kunkka because you stop the combo. I actually quite like that idea, and they have Clockwork. Or either, if it's not silencer, I think maybe they will go back to the Jakiro so they can actually push and have stronger team fight.
I think either one sounds good, yeah. Yeah, they go the silencer again. I really like this one versus what EG's got, because then you can stop kind of like that big team fight. You just start with Clark on the Pugna.
No, it's like the Konkai. You screw up with the Konkai's combo a lot.
Yes.
That's what I like the most with the silencer. So EG right now, they're probably gonna pick like a very strong core in the lane. What do you like here? Like, what is RTZ gonna play here?
Necro.
Necro? Yeah, I'm thinking about
Monkey.
Does he play Monkey?
He does.
He's
been spamming the crap out of it in FPL
yeah,
right
but
now.
in officials, has he played?
In the last 4 weeks, trust me, the most played hero he's had in FPL.
But Monkey is not so good against Veno, but he's...
So you never know when he's doing it like that. You never know whether it's him trolling or having some fun or or practicing. You just don't know what he's been doing.
The other hero I think that might be good would be Alchemist, because right now it's gonna be like a very slow farmish game.
Right.
So this is, I guess, could be either one of their heroes.
Could be more likely Samael.
But RTZ has been playing. I was watching this. He was streaming before he came here. Like he played every game Mirana.
Very good hero here versus Clock and versus Veno. You can outrange the Veno wards and you can always get out of the cogs.
And they have the X mark into arrow, so very good synergy between that.
Good burst too with the Pugna.
Yeah,
a lot of single target though. Like most of it is like kind of single target.
So they core here for Mineski.
They go back for the Pug.
Yep. Another way of jumping in, starting the fight with Silencer. Always good to have multiple initiations with Global.
So the last one will be either Ice hero or Ice is gonna play the Clockwork and they're gonna pick a position for you. I think probably Jeps is gonna, because Jeps really likes playing Clockwork. So they're gonna give Ice some. Ice is gonna be playing a more farm heavy hero because their other two cores, Veno and Pug, they're heroes that are gonna make space. So Ice is definitely gonna play some hero that is gonna be much more greedy.
Maybe offlane Wyvern?
Yeah, Wyvern is open. What else? Brood is banned. I don't see them picking.
His top 5 right now: Timber, Visage, Wyvern.
But Timber's, I don't feel Timber's that good this game.
Magnus and the Brood is the other one, of course, we've not spoken about.
Timber, not so sure. Because they have a lot of magic and Pugna is quite good against Timber, Konkamia. So I'm not so sure.
Not a fan of Timber. No. There's no like real strength direct.
Wyvern maybe actually would work this game.
Wyvern's all in there, and so is Nightstalker running.
Yeah, he could play the.
Hasn't played it a huge amount, but he has played it.
We have seen the offlane Nightstalker. Yeah.
But it's banned. NS is banned.
Oh, it is.
It is banned. Yeah. Oh, it's banned first too.
Yeah. So probably he's gonna play Wyvern. I'm not sure. I'm really not sure about the Timber. I don't think he will play Timber, but who knows? Because he really likes playing the hero. Sometimes even in a.
It's his most played hero, by the way.
Yeah, even in a bad situation, he would still want to play the hero.
He would. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. This is also one of his favorite hero, offlane Monkey King. So that's actually gonna give them very strong team fight. Monkey and Pug, those two combination is really strong together.
Lots of magic damage on EG already for it though, and they have Lich armor.
No, the thing with the monkeys, it gives them the right balance because Veno, Pug, magic. So the other core has to be some physical hero.
Right.
So that is actually a very good pick to bind everything together, and he can buy Diffusal against the Pugna. So I think that's probably one of the best picks they can have. For EG, kind of still open, right? They could pick Sumail's hero, or they could put Sumail on the Mirana.
Yep. They usually leave Samael's hero till last.
No, apparently.
Apparently not this time, though.
CK.
CK against Monkey, I guess. Early stage is okay, before Monkey has too many items. But there's Veno and Pug.
I like what EG's got.
You like him?
And they have the green hero.
They've got the Pugna.
Oh, they've both got a green hero, sort of.
I think Pugna Lich can stall the game out long enough for the CK to get massive, and I think CK's got a pretty favorable matchups in general as the game progresses.
Okay.
I'll go for EG.
Gonna go for EG, okay.
Green hero.
Veno is the stronger.
Baru Cadbury 5 Star, bola-bola biskuit dengan perpaduan coklat dan karamel, enaknya bikin lupa segalanya. Cadbury 5 Star, rasanya bisa hanyutkan diri.
And not give a split decision. Who wins the game, Ben? Who wins the game?
Well, firstly, I'm disappointed that Paul didn't give us a good throw.
Yeah. I think he's getting tired in his old age. He just can't keep up with the throws every single time. Where's that creativity juice? Obviously, he's not drinking what EG's drinking.
I'm going with Mineski.
Because he's not sponsored by them.
Yeah. You're right.
That's a missed opportunity right there. Why are you not sponsored by them?
I'm way more down with Mineski's play today. I think it's just been a lot better overall.
Yeah. Over evil geniuses who keep falling to Bloodseeker and seem to have real issues with this hero just in general.
That hero's hard to deal with, man. Your normal defensive items don't work. BKB, Glimmer, Force Staff. Like, you have to actually build completely differently, which just makes it awful. Yeah. Mushi is a pretty boss Veno, too. As boss as Venos can be. Not a huge fan of playing the hero or watching it, but I know it is one of the best this patch.
Man.
Oh, what a sick courier.
Dude, Venom was amazing. You like the courier? I mean, which one? Dire or Radiant?
Fire Roshan that Ice sizes.
All right. I like how you don't even say like it's the actual courier. We're looking at the Monkey King himself on both of our screens.
Yeah.
Who's walking around as the courier. We can show you that later when we get back to our primary observer. That along with the Bald Eagle, he was one of the first ones to show up, but I love Samael's Marana mount. It's just a very majestic beast, if anything. But yes, currently a courier is looking to snipe out the Radiant Rune, hiding in the trees like Monkey King, but we almost need to go perspective mode on just how cute that little courier. Yeah, look at him. Look at him burn. It's the way he waddles. It's the way the Roshan and his arms swing from side to side. He's like courier on a mission.
Well, I just like how the pouch is like half its size. So early game, Lich is actually pretty terrible at runes. So we kind of glossed over the fact that Mineski were actually able to get 3 runes. So this is actually not great. You don't want the Monkey King to have a lot of farm this game. He gets a lot of farm. He can almost like one-shot the CK illusions. And you need those things to stay alive. Yeah, I think Monkey King could be the hero. He has a pretty good tower already. He already dragged away the creep wave. And yeah, Lich terrible level 1, so I can definitely see them not contesting that level 1 bounty.
Yep. So, let's go. Move on. You'll have a good time still in your lane. Is this really going to be the greatest thing in the world, though, to have, like, Pugna going one-on-one with the Monkey King as opposed to, like, actually, like, pushing CK up? Like I know you said like the Lich is up here, so that like the laning is okay, but is this sacking too much once the Venomancer starts having more harassment?
It's not bad.
Speaking of harass, hello Moon for a Torrent. The lane just feels a little bit rough when Clockwork starts his rotations too, but I suppose it doesn't get scouted out. They miss their sentry ward. That camp is still blocked, and they use their other sentry ward to block the close camp. So Mineski have no pull options in their defensive tri lane.
Yep, this is a disaster in top lane. They have to leave because tower is like right where the creeps are, so they can't.
Well, they get aggressive instead. And 2 seconds on over on the Venomancer. Feel it, the Frost Blast go. It was Mineski who wanted to be aggressive. Jabs was rotating around the back, but he kind of ran to crit, so he couldn't get the proper loop around.
So where does Jabs find a home? Like, if he stays around top, he has to play way too closely around the tower. He can get this 2-minute bounty, but in terms of kill opportunities, there's just not that many for him.
I think he's worried about actually moving down onto the 2-minute bounty. Tried to avoid the torrent, but still gets hit by it.
Yeah, and then mid lane is a Marana, so there's not too much for him to do there. Maybe once Puck is 6. And then bottom lane is just so far for him to move. But yeah, getting bounty seems to be the play here. I wonder if they are going to bring more sentries in because it looks like Jab is going to get a sentry. Does he get this ward?
Yeah, he will.
So this is really important for them. However, the earliest they're going to be able to pull is like 310. So that's still a lot of value from that one ward that EG had.
Yeah, but now that they go a little bit more blind on the side, they will not see the movement of Jabs, because that was the other upside about that observed ward they had. It was able to watch the movement. So either crit commits a little bit more, or they're just happy to say Arteezy is strong enough to tank up and just started him on the top lane.
He definitely is at this point. I mean, he can buy a TP scroll too, and he'd be completely fine. But Pugna almost even as CS with Monkey King. Puck pretty even with Mirana.
It's one of those fun matchups too. Like, do you really dodge it with Decrepify? I understand, like, it will at least stop the Monkey King from attacking, but it won't stop, like, the slapdown.
I think Monkey King just wins, straight up wins most one-on-one matchups. In melee, or against melee in particular, but, I mean, the thing about it is Universe went a double move speed. Pugna's fast. He has 400 move speed with just Boost and Moonlace, so he should be able to kind of outrange Monkey King's pseudo-rangeness. He's going to get a trade-off on. Oh my god, this is looking really bad for Universe.
Oh, there's the slapdown, but it's not enough.
But what is he supposed to do now? Like, he can't go anywhere. He was just trying to buy a Soul Ring, but he can't get the Secret Shot right now. He's going to have to hoof it home. It's not good.
And then push crit to the lane. So, well, you said it, the 1v1 matchup. If he didn't keep his distance, life is harder.
I also think Ice is very mechanically skilled in the ones. I think that's like why you see him generally just absorb so much pressure, because he is a great laner.
Yeah.
Man,
that's what I was kind of almost. I was going to be really sad if he ended up being a Venomance, because it's like one of those laners is like, oh, mechanically skilled, it's great. It's like watching Sumail play a Viper. It's just sad.
Yeah, notice they never pick it for him anymore. It's a waste.
Yeah.
There's not that much upside.
A waste of talent.
Mid lane.
Yeah, they're looking for the torrent. It's not going to connect on Moon, and the X comes out a little bit later. Sumail's not going to throw the arrow. He understands phase shift. He's going to easily be able to dodge anything which is thrown at him. Still a nice contest in the mid. Like, the CS is neck and neck. 30-10 for the Puck against the 26-6 of Sumail. So everything's pretty even on the lanes. We're 5 minutes in. This may actually be the longest time we've waited all day for first blood to strike. And I know Script's going to get a little bit nervous, trying not to be Stevie Wonder.
The bar was set really low last week, so I think they're good.
You'll be fine, Script. You'll be fine. We have confidence in you. And Valini and I are looking around the map as well, so really it's a joint effort if we miss first blood. And Universe is keeping...
So it looks like it might be bottom. We see jabs coming in, but at the same time, we also see crit tipping in, kind of expecting this maneuver to come around. Neither team has really used a scan yet, but jabs will run right on top of crit.
Yep. So Jabs saw him. I don't know if Jabs actually scattered out the fact the Observer Ward was placed down.
No, definitely not. That would have to be some hacks level stuff.
Like really quick click.
But he is really close to level 6 on Monkey King. I don't know. It's still pretty hard for him to get a kill. He's actually dodging a lot of the blasts with the tree dance. I saw him try it last time, but he didn't get it off. But I mean, that's pretty nice. Tree dance doesn't take any mana just to go on trees, and it's usually pretty hard to avoid because cast point's pretty low and the area is large. But Monkey King's pretty fast.
Effective way to jump out to safety. Puck was able to have a lot of free time actually mid.
Yeah.
Sumail left to go jungle just to try and like efficiency farm with arrow and gave Puck almost a half level. Actually, it's a little bit more than a half level advantage over Sumail. Now Crit wants to come back in again. A quick torrent. It's not going to connect. Phase shift. Sumail jumps forward. And it's going to be a dream coil. He'll dodge the arrow. The stun is out. Crit Moon. He thinks about jumping away, but he doesn't need to anymore. That attack up the hill. Crit's low. The sting charges. The damage from Jabs. The cogs burn. It barely reaches, but barely is enough. Jabs is low. It's going to be a 2-for-1 trade-off. Both mid. Moon is the only man standing as he lost his clockwork and Fierce rotation came in way too late. Not much he could have done there. But then Mineski try and capitalize up on the top. Mushi teaming up to attack into Arteezy. The damage he's sticking from both Gale as well as Mushi too close to the tower. He'll live, however. It's Magic 1 charge is giving him the life to survive the attacks from the tier 1 tower and stop Crit from claiming something in return.
This is really bad for them, for EG that is. They're losing the early game with a Lich. And I can kind of see it that they're trying to get some farm for the CK, but that gank on the Puck did not work well. I think they tried to like X him into the arrow, but there was some miscommunication there. It didn't look like he got stunned. Maybe he casted the coil at that exact moment, but that's a lot of damage.
Yeah, that blast from Universe is nice. It's not going to stop Jabs, who interrupted Easy, and then helped set up for Ice.
Yeah, so Puck was able to survive. They got 2 kills in the mid lane, and the return kill they didn't even get the experience for because they were all dead. So that's, and even so, it was just a clog. So who cares?
Yeah, the expendable 4. But even as expendable, like his levels are still looking pretty damn good. Like everyone's managed to find a decent amount of levels, but when you're running a Lich on the G side, you kind of expect some level of imbalance. But the overall experience gain, like, it's actually in favor of Mineski by about 700, 750. The goal, however, is a little bit more of a different story. Mineski, for everything they've earned, gives them a 3k lead. And they're looking for more. Chasing down after the Chaos Knight. He's going to actually try and jump out with Phantasm. Not going to work. The Clockwork Cox lock in Arteezy. And Moon will arrive to get a 2-man dream call. They'll take this on both the supports. First, what do you really do here? He puts down the blast of the Cripifying Clockwork, so he'll take decent damage, but that doesn't stop Moon from diving underneath the tier 1 tower. They'll easily pick up Fear. Moon with his double kill. Ice was watching from the vantage spot. Camera on a tree. He basically was at the end of that. And Mineski up 7-1, 9 minutes in after what was 6 minutes without a kill.
Look at Clockwork's net worth. He actually had an earn before that fight. So now they can get so much damage on this because he got, what, 3 charges from that? 4 charges, actually, I think?
Yep, he's down to 1, though. He burnt everything to bring people up.
But this means they don't really have any downtime. Both the Puck and the Monkey King, both Clarity's running them. So they're able to transition very quickly from 3 kills, earn up, Clarity up, get the tower, and then keep pressing on forward. This is a big problem. Clockwork is number 5 on net worth, and he was just running around on top. And keep in mind, you're versus the Lich.
Yep.
Or I mean, you still are versus the Lich. But
When you're Lich and you're behind, the sacrifice doesn't work. Jab's trying to close the distance on Universe. While he might have the net worth, he doesn't have experience yet to hit level 6, but Moon, Dreamcall is already back off cooldown. Here comes Monkey King jumping forward. Stick slaps Universe. Fear wants something in return, and maybe they can get it. Monkey King, no way to jump out, so it's a big kill for Samael to rotate in and take. And with the haste rune, the chase can continue. He's got a bottle charge, which should at least give him the arrow, knowing that Moon's going to jaunt himself away and back up to the shrine. The shrine is down for the moment. 30 seconds before it comes off cooldown, so Mineski will have to go back to base to regen.
And Jabs didn't really help out his teammate there. Maybe could have cogged to help out the Monkey King a little bit more, but kind of decided to just peace out ASAP. I'm not sure what he's saving up for his goal, which is 1,400 at the moment. It's a lot of money to work around with.
Oh, that's a nice pickoff for Samael. Rotated towards the mid, took out Ninja Boogie.
Yeah, free kill with a haste, it looks like. Another thing about the Pugna in this game is he can't build normal items. Like, normally you build Aether into anything else, but he needs a 4-staff first this game because he's versus Clock. But a big problem is he also...
Goodbye, Arteezy. He's dead no matter what happens here. Be it denied or be it just kill straight out, and just kill straight out. Ice will claim him.
The Pugna also needs armor, though, because the Boundless Strike is going to do so much damage. We talk about Pugna's strengths a lot, but one of his weaknesses, he has 2 armor right now. That's, especially with a Tranquil Nerf, he has strengths right now. Oh my
boy,
goodness.
the hook shot's up as well, and no! Jams! So both of them almost stationary. Crit gets solo killed up by Ice.
They're getting run over by Monkey King.
Yeah. Jabs actually did still kill him anyway. And they're moving over. Samael maybe looking for an opportunity. Ninja Boogie, now level 6, has Global Silence available. So you got silence from him. You got Veil up on the Puck. So Amplification is in droves from him. Mushi has now decided to go to bottom lane to try and play the experience game. And then Hand of Midas for Jab's build.
With the way he's going right now, it's fine. He doesn't really need a 4-staff. Blade Mail is like whatever this early, so I think Midas is going to be great for him.
EG's not doing enough damage to the Blade Mail to be justified just yet.
Yeah, they're going to huddle around. Ooh, looks like an offensive smoke. Looks like it's going to be on the Puck, but they're going to have to hit a torrent. There's no boat yet, so they don't have that much lockdown for him.
They almost came close enough. Crit came close enough to break the smoke on Moon. But you got a hook shot off cooldown in 3 seconds time and a Monkey King. Basically tree on top of tree action in the mid.
But look at Mushi. Mushi's bounced. They actually, that was kind of a good play from EG. They tried to have one of the one of the heroes show mid, they showed the torrent, and then they used 3 to smoke bottom, but Mushi read it like a book. He dropped his wards, and he's like, I know there's smoke, I'm just going to bounce. And it's safe. They get a free tower as a result of Mushi's nice maneuver.
Yep. But you also saw the fact, like, EG were not going to fight. Like, Arteezy was using Phantasm to farm in the jungle.
Yeah,
That's the level EG is hit.
that's close to rock bottom.
Yeah, that's almost like full brace build. You just know things are wrong.
Maybe he can sell his golden shield and buy some real items.
I'm sorry, you can't transfer real money into in-game economy.
If only. If only.
The game's that broken yet. EG used TI winnings to win games. Ninja Boogie straight TP out. Just global silences. Expecting Crit to have Torrent, X-Mark, anything would have actually killed him off. So defensive global silence to make sure EG continue to get nothing.
He didn't actually really need to be there, this Ninja Boogie, but maybe he's just playing the position 5 game. It's like, yeah, well, if they kill me, then so be it. They're just wasting time. But I think any kill is going to be a huge positive for EG, even if it's on the position 5.
Oh, the jump. They go hook shot. It was a trap on top lane. And Arteezy will fall. Lich ulti flying forward as it bounce back into the creep wave. And Jams creates space with his cogs. The Lich ulti hasn't done enough. In fact, Moose just jumped back in once more. The ship will hit Jams. And thanks to Universe's Drain, they'll end his killing spree. And the Park has bailed up a little bit further north. Now he's jumped back in again, looking for the kill. Fear, welcome back to Dota, old man. Moon will drop him. No other support's going to arrive, but while you end up losing a 2-for-1, I suppose at this point for EG, that's a good trade.
Not if one of them's your CK.
No.
CK is also not going for minus. I believe he was building an armlet. Well, he has a Gloves of Haste. There's a reason why he built the Gloves of Haste first over the other pieces of the armlet. He's like, I might want to minus this game. I might want it.
Yeah. Hey, if he gets one big kill, then maybe, like, if he kills off the Puck, there's a huge injection of money, and then the case starts on the road to recovery. But
it's really tough with a silencer in the game. If Ninja Boogie is watching at all, they have to like torrent into multiple stuns, or he has to get hit by an arrow. So it is potentially possible, but he's been playing pretty safely, I would say. He's 5-0-3 right now across the smoke. They do have pretty good wards on EG side, like 2 around the mid lane, but now it looks like things are going to get a little bit hairy. Fear does reveal himself on the bottom. That's a pretty sneaky obs ward that will unlikely get dewarded. And
they're pressuring hard. Here goes Jules, perfect. Hook shot, jabs, hook shot forward. Fear attempting to deny to the Mud Golem.
But look at that. I mean, that ward's going to stay up, too. They're like, how did they know I was here? And he might even drop another sentry ward in the jungle because he kind of expects that he hook shot him during nighttime. So you know they have vision somewhere.
Yeah.
But you just don't know where.
Well, you got to expect it's further to the west, right? Or a little bit up to the north. That's an odd position for an
you probably expect like right there where that really, right on top of the stairs.
We're expecting right there, or there,
further
or
south.
here, or basically anywhere that isn't here.
Pretty much on top of the stairs to the left. So that's...
Well, at least you'll see the sentry that got planted down. So you take home the consolation prize.
Of what? 0 XP, 0 gold, and...
Hey, I'm not saying it's a great consolation prize. It's like when you play Wheel of Fortune, you end up losing at the main event, don't get any money, and you get to play the board game later on just to remind your entire family that, no, I didn't win the car, I didn't get the boat. Thank you, Salt.
But I was on TV, right?
I was on TV. Huge victory.
That's one of those Sentry Wars that you see and you're just like, I'm not even going to bother killing it.
Reveals my position. Okay, Simman's going to bother to kill it. Something in return.
He was invis at the time. Value.
For Mineski. Well, hey, Samal's the big killer on EG's side. He's sitting at 4-1. He's the only person on EG that's actually claimed kills compared to like the Clockwork, who's 5-2-8, the Puck, who's 6-0-4.
So let's talk a little bit about how they got into this position. Right now, it's very far into Mineski's favor, but firstly, Monkey King generally has to be a draft. I've seen it a lot as a 1 and 2, and it's been losing a lot, but I really like it in a position 3 because I think the hero farms very poorly, and he's just great at like always. He's great at one-on-one situations, firstly, and then Secondly, he's just good at being super annoying, which is Ice specialty. But they put him in a one-on-one matchup that wasn't great for the Pugna. Like they put the CK and the Lich up top, and the Kunkka was started off like mid/top. So he's isolated in this 1v1 and just like bullies around Universe. The CS was like kind of close, but once he gets higher levels in Jingu, there's no chance that Pugna is going to be able to survive in the lane.
It's just like our Huskar pickup from yesterday, where you just like, it's like I don't fully get it though. Like the secret draft.
Well, which pick do you not get?
Just the 5th pick, where you
the CK.
Well, not the CK. I think the CK was fine, but it just seemed like the laning phase, they had a lot of confidence, maybe too much confidence in the Lich and the CK to really function on the off lane.
Well, where do they go? There's no home for them.
Yeah, but can you just run the CK versus the Monkey King? That's... all right, Fear's going to get ripped apart. That's a nice torrent into double ship, but thanks to the Wukong command, EG having a hard time getting in close, especially when you get that Nova off. Samel's going to end up ticking down. They get the Monkey King, so Arteezy gets money, but Mushi gets a triple kill. And EG are all dead.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
I just don't know where EG was meant to go right with their draft against Mineski. It seems like all the lanes were going to be difficult. The Venomancer was early indicated. The Monkey King seemed to be the perfect comfort 5th pick for Mineski.
So I think they needed better roaming around from the Kunkka. I actually think he parked himself too much on top lane because Clockwork was kind of threatening a kill there, but it was kind of a feign, because they couldn't have actually killed them under the tower. CK is really tanky, and they have a Lich, so it's always going to be at the T1 tower. This fight, yeah, great hookshot coming out from Jabs. Yeah, that's and great silence timing coming out from Ninja Boog. They just throw all their ultimates down. Ice plays very well in the trees. He also hits most of his boundless strikes. It sounds easy, but it's actually not. That spell is very thin. It's not as wide as Fissure, so hitting the heroes that he's been hitting, especially with Jingu, is going to make a big difference when you're playing the hero. So yeah, they weren't able to get that much accomplished top. Mid lane, Puck has an upper edge in a lot of matches, was able to out CS Sumail, and the bottom lane, as I mentioned before, was just a disaster for them. So they really need the Kunkka to kind of make one of their lanes a win, perhaps the mid lane. Ideally the bottom, I would say. You just keep attacking him and put him in a position where he can't get any Jingus, but that was never really a possibility for them. And after that, it just went pretty poorly. Because Pugna's great at teamfight and great at pushing towers, but everyone was just dying constantly.
Yeah, it kind of is the March of the Dead at the moment. But let's think about how they get back up. So there's one nice thing that happened in that fight. It was the fact that Arteezy got himself his first kill of the game, a large injection of money. He's finally got the arm up and running. And maybe he is the critical thing we could look at to EG. How much does Chaos Knight need before he can start fighting strongly against Mineski? Crit at the moment almost feels like the hare the Greyhounds are chasing. You know they're going to get it.
Yeah.
But it's also creating more space. Chaos Knight is actually building into Shadowblade. So is that the way in for EG? Is it like now you've got your arm, at least you can have your strength to fight with. Do you look for that opportunity through the Shadowblade initiation, and then where's your follow-up?
Yes, because right now their biggest problem is opening up the map. One of the big downsides about Lich, like we talk about, Sacrifice being amazing and Frost Arm being amazing. One of the downsides is you're constantly like pulling in your lanes, and it actually decreases the area that you can farm when you're this late into the, or when it's way past the laning phase. So they need to expand the map somehow. And CK threatening the support kills, like Silencer's a free kill. Even Venom, I would say, is a free kill. He's not going to die afterwards with Armlet. Like if he just Phantasms and then Chaos Bolts right on top of him with Reality Rift, the Venom's going to die. So that's 2 heroes, and maybe even the Puck might die too if he leads from the invisibility with a stun. So there's 3 heroes that have to be a lot more scared, and then they can farm out a little bit more, which could eventually get them back into the game. I think it's the right idea, because what other items going to help them really? Like, BKB's not going to win them a team fight. Heart is just not a possibility at this point in the game.
Yeah, they need that initiation. Right now, they're still trying to play the counter initiation game, waiting for Moon to initiate in, but it's going to be Jabs. Hook shots forward, finds the Pug, and Netherward's still in a good spot for this one. With a global silence, all EG can do is back up for a second and hope they survive long enough, and they're going to. Jabs will fall quickly. Arteezy found the target, combining over Sumail, but now Diffuser Blade is on Monkey King with the Wukong command, holding 3 EG heroes in position. It is a complete disaster in the tree lines. Even the Yule Scepter cancelling the exit from crit. What do? You die. And you may even GG.
You contemplate what went wrong with this game. This is just an utterly, brutally disastrous
Brutally disastrous. I love combining big words.
This is something else.
Yeah. Hey, I remember you. It's the upside, right? You're only 22 minutes in. At least you get to respawn quickly to potentially defend your tier 3 tower. But this is the fight, and then Arteez is like, yes, finally I get something. But ISIS just ruined the day. It was the fresh item too. EG had no idea that Diffusal Blade was ready.
And the BKB2 on Mushi. Very safe, but you don't want to be giving up kills like ISIS did a little bit earlier. I think Jabs has really been the playmaker here. He's done so many things this game. Firstly, he caught the hook shot on that play, but even starting from the beginning of the game, I think he kept crit up there, which forced the 2 one-on-ones, which lost them 2 of the lanes. Top, I would say, even with a Lich, was kind of a wash for them because of the bounty rune being taken by Jabs. I think he got both bounty runes, and they got both bounty runes at the start too. So you're like, your first few minutes of the game aren't even slightly favored away. So yeah, no chance of a Roach steal right here. There's just not really anything happening. RTZD is just sitting there with Shadow Amulet, maybe being able to catch out a puck. So this could be really, really big for them if he decides to prompt the wave.
Yeah,
no, he's out of
but
there.
he doesn't. He's playing the range game, keeping the pressure on, because you know Mineski want to go up there. So while we're watching the replay, Mineski actually pushed the top tower down, and it's down to 250 HP. So it really won't take much to go high ground against Evil Genius. They already feel confident about it, so EG will try and catch him off guard by actually running into the smoke of Mineski. There's a quick rocket up. They don't see anything as the Moonlight Shadow protecting EG. The arrow perfectly connects onto the clockwork with the torrent. The global silence, it won't really matter because already EG are doing the damage inside them. But how strong is Ice? Not that strong. Crit and Artesia surviving. Moose jump back in again, but Mushi, so much life, so much damage. EG are pushing up the daisies, and the Aegis Immortal will burn, but GG, well played. It's probably the shortest game of the day, 25 minutes, and Mineski have firmly shot their boot up the EG rear.
That was one of the cleanest games I've seen in this entire tournament. Very solid play from Jabs. I think you really set everything up and just controlled the entire game with this clockwork. Well played.
It really was. Fantastic performance from Mineski. They've got to be confident coming out of that one, and Evil Geniuses.
They had that really long game today. That was a rough series.
They did. It's been a very long day for them. Obviously, if they lose this, then...
But no excuses. Bounce back.
That's it. Well, they can go and have themselves a quick beverage and then find all the excuses they don't want to take, and we'll come back for game 2.
Get the alpha, be the
Welcome back to the PGL Open Bucharest. Evil Geniuses have lost in record time, the fastest game so far here of the 2 group days at least, and they go down to a fighting Mineski. It turns out the better green hero is definitely the Venno. Winter was right. We're back with our panel members. Winter, all joking aside, that was pretty devastating.
Yeah, lanes were really important. They lost. They went with Lich, and they still lost what? Okay, they lost 2 of the lanes. Bottom lane was quite even in terms of CS. The Pugna against Monkey King, but the Pugna died to the Clockwork Gangs. But I was quite surprised that they actually lost the top lane.
I thought Lich CK would. I thought the CK was going to be like the one at least rising thing for EG.
Well, that's what we thought out of that draft. It was going to be the safest option they had.
Yeah, but
especially because the lane option.
Still, I didn't feel comfortable like going aggro lane against a Venno. I don't think that's always a good idea.
Like here we see it's 4.5 minutes in, and look at CK's last hits compared to the Venno. They really suffered. I think Jabs just really destroyed this game. His movements around the map. He forced the Kunkka to kind of stay there for a while, and the rotation just didn't work well for
If you think about lanes as well,
yeah,
Venno, Silencer, Clockwork, they're not weak.
No, they're not. They're definitely not weak.
They're definitely not weak. Even though they managed to block the plan for like what, a minute or 2 minutes. They brought another sentry to deward the pool camp.
Yeah.
They didn't get the first deward, but still, I was kind of expecting the lane to go a bit more well for EG.
Yeah, I thought the CK would get stuff. I thought the other 2 was going to be a little bit more Mineski favored, but it was...
They snowballed too much.
It was just a massive snowball. Like, look at this. We see the Monkey King jumps in behind the towers here at no risk. And Moon also. Moon on the puck his rotations were on point. The rotation with Jabs bottom when they got the 3 heroes, and then Ben pointed out that Jabs had just picked up an urn. So he got like 4 urn charges, they got multiple clarities, so they took out the tower after killing 3 heroes as well, and that's a huge snowball factor definitely coming into the game.
26-7 overall, 13 of those went to Moon.
Yeah, it was very solid puck performance. The globals as well were very well played by Ninja Boogie, the few that actually did go off. This one really good.
Yeah, this one I think is probably one of the most important glows. I think if Fear was able to cast the Chain Frost, he would have actually immediately killed 2 heroes there. The Clockwork and the Monkey would have actually just gone down.
Because they were standing
yeah,
right
they were
on
just
top of each other.
Next to each other. But I think overall, the adjustment should be like the lanes though. Like, do they actually really need to go aggro lanes Mineski? I understand the previous series when they were against Vichy. Vichy really weak lane. The aggro, it's okay. The aggro lane, they beat their lane. They crushed the carries lane, and they were able to snowball their carry out of control. But this game, I don't think Mineski lanes are actually that weak. They're actually they're pretty decent.
Yeah, Venno Silencer is just that DOT damage just really starts to build up, and Clockwork. I mean, Jabs was everywhere, but the fact that he can just kind of walk in versus these 2 heroes and not be too much of a risk.
But do you think that the reason they went aggro lane is because they feel like Pugna cannot lane alone top? Like even with Kunkka helping the Pugna, the lane is not possible for him, so they want to give the Pugna a 1v1 matchup, which they thought Pugna would be favored, but in the end it was 50-50. You think that might be the reason why?
I guess it must. I think they just wanted to have like that static farm CK top and slow down the Venno's farm a bit, because they emphasize really heavily block the pull, block the secondary pull, and then
because
deny the wave back. But they didn't. The Venno was ahead in farm the whole time of the CK.
But why would you actually go the like Venno is not a hero that you want to aggro lane in a lot of situations.
It has to be for the Pugna.
Yeah, that's why I'm thinking maybe the bigger reason is because they want the Pugna to get a good game, because we've seen. Like even last week at Star, there are certain games where off-lane Pugna, you got shut down, you're just pretty much fooled the whole game. You're not going to do anything.
But it's like, what would you prefer, your CK to be completely shut down or your Pugna, right?
They didn't expect the lanes to go so bad.
Yeah,
they were kind of expecting at least 6-4 maybe top with the Lich, and Pugna get good matchup bottom. Then you would have sort of like made it worth it. But in the end of the day, they lost top, they lost mid, bottom got gank, all lanes lost.
And then it's a Pugna lineup where you have no towers, and it's like already like 15-20 minute mark or something, and yeah, your draft just falls apart completely.
We'll take a look at the scoreboard in just a moment, and it shows bad reading as far as EG fans are concerned. The top 4 of the 5 players were all on the Mineski side. The only bright highlight in terms of statistics, at least, were Samao 6-3-1, but that's not really relevant in a game where the rest of his team had 1 kill between them.
I still think out of the 3 calls, Arteezy is the most important player. Sumail can have a bad game, he'll come back.
Yeah.
And Universe is just Universe, he's going to be okay. But if Arteezy has a bad game, usually the game it's gonna be very difficult for them because a lot of their games they rely on RTZ to like kind of make space because Sumail, like we talk about it, Sumail and Universe, they both farm a lot as the other two cores. So somebody has to do something to create the space necessary for everyone to farm.
Which is a great point because the MVP for this particular game was on the other side of the team and did exactly that. Jabs for Mineski was the MVP. Just all-round great game, enabled his team brilliantly.
Great clockwork game overall, and he played it to pretty much perfection. Winter, just like he said, he likes to get the Midas, got it at an incredibly fast pace. His Urn came out in a very fast timing as well, and yeah, he was everywhere. Ganked every single lane, counter-ganked as well, got first blood. Couldn't ask for more from a clockwork in that type of game.
Good stuff from the star player on MVP, on Mineski this time round, the MVP himself. We will turn our attention fairly shortly, of course, to the next draft. Could be a 2-0.
Could be.
Unlikely, considering that the other two series in this group have both been best of threes that have got all the way.
Yeah,
so
TG.
we don't know. Well, we were discussing this.
Yeah.
I mean, like
they turn up when they lose a little bit. They seem that it's just like
because it kind of pisses them off, right? They do play better somehow when they're pissed off because they're like, well, how do we lose that? That's ridiculous. Like, we should have done that bad. And then next game they come back, they've got that resilience and that fortitude and experience to come back and make it 1-1.
Paul is calling EG next game. No draft, nothing. Paul said EG is going to win.
That's pretty bold.
I'm not too sure.
You're putting words in the mouth now, Winter.
They suffered really heavily in early game in laning phase when they're playing with the Lich, so it's definitely a bit of a concern.
Yeah, definitely need to mix it up. Before we get to that draft, why don't we begin with our social media questions, because we haven't had any today, and we haven't dipped in there, and I know that a number of you have put in the questions, so we'll take one right now and try and get through as many as we can during this downtime. Which CN team benefited most from the shuffle? Was there any team that benefited from the shuffle in China?
I mean, they've been losing so much lately, so it's kind of hard to say. But
Vichy Gaming today actually looked quite good. They exceeded
they
exceeded my expectations. They gave EG a really good run. They almost won the series.
The change up with ROTK, putting him as coach.
Yeah, I think he's a very good leader in the game.
Yeah.
He was actually drafting. I saw him. I saw him sitting down on one of the PCs. Like, why else would you be sitting down?
Yeah, I mean, he took the computer completely.
Yeah,
he did. I think LFY or not FY. LGD getting FY.
LG.
Really?
I think they've like, gained a decent amount. Like they have.
It's experience.
It's experience. The only reason I say this one is because maybe every time I've seen him playing, Omnis, we'll call him for now. Every time I've been seeing him play, it's usually just him by himself. Shut up, Paul. Some people aren't confused. It's like he's been like alone by himself like, on his team, and now he actually has these other star players kind of back him up. That's why I would kind of say.
But the other team I expected to do well with after the shuffle was Lamb's team. But last week they were really disappointing at Starlighter.
Yeah.
So I don't know if they actually benefited from the trade. So not sure. But
a hard question.
Yeah. So far our TK's team, I think. Looking good.
Okay, all right. Let's take one more question, if we can, from the pot. Do keep them coming. I know we haven't got through all of them. We can't possibly get through all of the questions, but I'm sure we'll get through as many as we can. Coaches in boots. Have you noticed a change in how teams draft? Well, we just mentioned that, actually, yes. Teams have started to alter ROTKs. Actually, like, everyone, get away from the computer. This is mine. I'm drafting.
I think it's a good idea, though.
I like this too.
But as a player, would you be a bit like, Christ, what's he going to draft for me now?
Think about it. The 5 other people, they're going to just put their heads down. We're going to play good Dota. We trust the coach. He's going to draft. And he's going to do the...
But what if he drafts you something you're not comfortable with?
But you have to trust him. It's very difficult to make this work. But I think if the team allows this to work and everyone can work around it, it'll be really good. One person takes away the burden of the captain.
But can't a good captain do that? Can't a fear do that, for instance, in a team? Can he not know what all the players like? And does he not have that conversation with them?
What if you help him with it and he just focuses on the game and he commands the team in the game and you do with all the picks? And he just, wouldn't you play better? Less burden?
I don't know. I'm asking you. I'm not so sure, but...
I like the way it's benefited Mineski, personally, having their coach in there.
Yeah.
I think he's had a very positive role. I mean, they got second place at Starlighter. They're looking a lot more solid here, too.
Yeah, draft is underway. I do want to talk about this more if we get the opportunity to do it. I don't want to discuss how it's unfair on teams, because personally I think that's BS. The ones that haven't got the coach.
Yeah, when you have an option to
Tough,
get one.
go and get one.
Yeah, let's go get one. Yeah, exactly.
Professional, you want to play professional at the top end? Go and get a coach.
So EG is first pick now, so Mineski decides to remove the Strong green hero in the game.
Oh yeah, it is good to point out. That's a good point that EG is now playing Dire. I mean, of course, because Mineski takes
Do you actually
priority.
like Dire more than Radiant?
No, I like Radiant
I
more.
like Radiant more
Me
too.
too, me
Right.
too. But
And
EG just lost on Radiant.
Starladder was 21 to 10 in victories on.
I don't know why, but
Radiant.
I feel better on Radiant.
We were curious, so I went and walked around and asked a bunch of the players, and everybody was just like more comfortable.
I feel better.
And we're like, is there any other reason? It's just like maybe the mid.
So here's
space, but
this is scientific. I don't know whether you're aware of this, Winter, but it's scientifically proven that some players play better left to right on the screen or up down.
Yep.
Rather than down up. So there could be some science in this that actually says, well, they prefer going up.
So
screen.
Radiant is imbalanced scientifically.
Maybe scientifically it's imbalanced. Ice Frog, go and fix it. I don't know. That's another question. Another good debate to have at some point. We should do a show or something.
We got to get some neurologist in here, kind of explain it to us probably.
For someone, a science advisor of some kind on Dota 2. That'd be good, wouldn't it? That's the next level. You get data analyzers, get coaches, get scientists.
Yeah, but they have like sports psychologists
Absolutely.
and stuff too, right?
Absolutely. Nothing wrong with a scientist. They're all over football right now as well. Right, anyway, back to the draft.
Night
Bans have been done.
is left in the pool. Yep.
Is EG gonna snag it up?
Spirit Breaker for them, probably. Oh, they should actually just stick with the
Well, they
Pugna.
stick. So Mineski is gonna pick NS and EG is gonna pick Spirit Breaker. Is that how it's gonna
Yeah, more than likely. NS and...
Well, they have no reason to go away from that, do they?
go? NS Jakiro? NS Silencer? I think I like NS Jakiro. Or they're gonna go for like a Puck plus NS. Mirana.
They've done that before. I like
Yeah,
that. I like the NS
the
Puck
early
a
Puck.
lot, honestly. I really like Puck versus Pugna as well.
Mm-hmm.
Just having that burst, having that gap closer. NS.
This is one of their big time favorite supports because it allows them to snowball, win the lanes, pressure, limit the vision. Just an overall very good hero for them.
The fear not being that and knowing he leaves it in
He wants the
means
Spirit
he
Breaker.
knows that they go in there,
Yeah.
so he's prepared for this.
Very similar to Secret's approach, they do always tend to give away the NS, take the Spirit Break as a response to that. I think a lot of the good teams actually do this kind of thing where they leave certain specific hero open so that they can actually counter pick it, or they think that they can deal with it, because you can't ban everything. You have to choose what you're going to go up against. So NS Silencer, like we discussed in the previous game, Silencer really good against the Pugna. And now EG responds with the Spirit Breaker for dealing with the style early game.
They really like the Silencer versus the Pugna. They did it versus Navi. They've done it twice here now too.
So I guess same bans right now.
They're gonna take out the Pug for sure from me. Yeah, they do.
So replacement probably Ember Spirit, I guess.
Yeah, Ember is pretty
Possible.
solid versus both Spirit Breaker and Pugna.
Yeah, Brutes open. I guess if you're EG, you're probably less worried about dealing with a compared to Mineski's first two heroes.
I mean, Spirit Breaker Pugna are pretty good generally versus Broodmother.
Yeah, we actually saw earlier today how it was EG.
It was
They
Universe.
actually lane Pugna against Brood 1v1. It
They-
actually worked out really well for them.
They actually, I was like casting that one. I was like, oh, they don't have the best hero versus Brood. And as soon as I said, I'm like, wait, what am I talking about? They have Pugna and Necro, two of the actual heroes that can deal versus the Brood in the laning phase. So they ban out the Bat and the Puck, two of these high magic damage heroes, and catch
Yep,
Silencer
Bat
Bat.
Rider Silencer with NS, classic combination. Pretty strong.
Bloodseeker again, taking out that combo Bloodseeker Pugna. You see so often.
So right now for Mineski, they're definitely gonna need more initiating heroes. We talked about the Ember because of the Spirit Breaker. Very difficult for him to charge him. If it's a mid Ember, you can't pressure.
Do they go Visage here this game?
Oh yeah, Visage is also available. Yeah, that will be possible for them too. Visage and Ember. Yeah, I actually kind of like both of those two for them.
Okay, that's a little bit more.
It's still like a pick where
comfort
this is
hero.
what we call like a filler. What I call a filler pick. You pick a hero that can be multiple carry mid, and then you see one more pick from the opponent before you decide the more important heroes. Because you are at the fourth pick next, which is something that you want to pick that can counter specific heroes on the enemy team.
So Moon or Nana plays what? Mirana, Puck, and Tinker. I think majority of the times. Now, it
And
seems.
Ember Spirit.
And Ember,
those
yeah.
four
So those
heroes.
four are the big four for him.
And Mushi plays a lot of Venge recently. Venge, Medusa, Mirana.
I like that Venge Mirana Visage core that they've
Yeah.
run. I've seen them run it multiple times. It's very, very potent.
And they have NS this game. I actually like the Visage a lot for them this time because their lanes are going to be really good. And they go back for the Jakiro, Pugna, a lot of push, strong lanes. Like you don't want like a weak position 5 hero against NS, otherwise you're gonna just get bullied a lot.
And it still kind of hides what EG wants to do. We
they
don't know exactly
they
what the
could run
roles
it
are.
mid
Roles
again.
Yeah, and Jakiro is pretty good against Visage.
Pretty early, but it was the different matchup. It was the Bloodseeker.
We're still liking that Visage though from Mineski. I'm trying to think of other heroes. I'm kind of locked on for now.
I
but
think perfect 5 heroes right now for them. Oh, they still go
they
back.
actually still go for clock.
Wow.
I guess it is a great clock
because
game.
of
Yeah.
the Jakiro and
Yeah.
Jakiro.
Mhm.
So it will be a off-lane Night Stalker for this team, I think, because Chaps will
Yeah.
probably play Clockwork again.
I like having they're actually wanting like a full initiator as well with the silencer because they didn't really have that till that point either. EG goes quick for the Necro.
When one green hero doesn't work, two.
That'll be Moon's Necro.
Or you mean that's for EG, dude?
Oh, right, yeah, sorry.
It's all good.
It won't be Moon's Necro.
Okay, so what last picks then? They already have a Diffuser hero. And Clockwork's pretty good against Necro. Even like NS the Silence as well. Pretty good against Necro.
What's the Mushi hero?
Mushi and D mate.
Do they go AM? Yeah, that's what I was thinking too.
I actually feel the AM Bloodseeker's ban out.
I think that EVG's gonna ban it. At least the anti-mage having two int
so
cores.
he's not gonna get the AM, so what?
Does he still go for the Venge?
The Venge, I guess. Not sure. I think AM's really good, but like you said, I doubt he'll actually get it.
Yeah. They even ban out the Brood on the side of Mineski. Venge makes their lineup a bit single
Yeah, because
target.
Brood is really good against Silencer and NS early, and it could be a uni hero.
Yeah. We still aren't 100% sure, yeah.
The Necro.
Sorry?
What about the Necro?
I think Necro could be either Sumio or Arteezy.
They ban the
Or
Venge
Universe.
and they take the AM themselves.
Right.
Oh.
So we're gonna see like some Morphling, Alchemist. Those are the two common heroes against AM. Not sure.
They struggled with the Alchemist the last time they picked it versus AM versus Liquid. Really hardcore.
But it could work here though. I still like the Alchemist against AM matchup. Because you farm faster than him, you try to end the game at specific timing. And looking at their other 4 heroes, those 4 heroes are really good with the Aghanims upgrade from Alchemist. I like Alchemist here. The other pick is like Morphling, which I'm not so sure.
Man, seeing Pugna Necro is on the same team is so terrifying. Just reminding me of the game from earlier today.
Lots of green.
Yeah,
And I don't like Medusa here, so I
not a fan of Medusa.
don't think Mushi would have any other good options here. I think he will probably play the, if they pick Alchemist, he'll play the Mirana, and Nana's gonna play the Alchemist. That probably is how they will run it. But do you think there's any other picks that are good here?
I'm trying to think about
What-
it.
what
I'm
does
even looking
Sumail
at
play
like a
in
lot of
that
the
lineup,
recent
by the way?
stuff.
Sumir's probably the Necro.
Do you think he's the Necro?
Yeah,
You don't think he will go Jakiro and they put Necro on Uni?
Whoa, they picked PL there.
PL's not bad, but I'm not very sure about the PL in general against AM.
And
Okay.
Pugna. Pugna's very good versus PL.
PL can work, but it's not feeling it.
Alright.
Actually,
I'm going for
So yeah, you're right.
EG.
They've gone. So Sumail has gone for the Necro.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm gonna go for EG this time
Yeah?
again, stubbornly.
Why?
No, I think this time around they've got a much more well-rounded draft, and they've got the late game, they've got mid-game secured as well.
Okay, so former EG player goes for EG again.
Nice one, yeah, great, good.
I don't
Very
think
original.
I don't think Mushi's a PL player.
You don't think Mushi's a PL player?
I don't like the AM versus PL matchup. Like
Yeah,
PL, I think suffers so
I
much.
don't like it, man. So I'm on board with him.
We're cursing it.
What's that face? What's wrong?
What do I do? We asked for experts. We got these two. Just it's just a prediction. That's all it is. That's all they got to do. Leaves me with only one thing to say: save me, Toby One.
I'm definitely not saving you, Paul. The panel is 100% right. I actually saw Malini have some almost like It was almost a physical extraction from his throat.
It's okay here.
When he saw the PL.
There weren't any good picks, though. I think it was one of the few instances where I'm like, wow, this 9th pick was actually really good, and it kind of blocked the 10th. And you're like, the 10th pick was not great for them because I think they wanted AM, but AM or PL is at least a defusal carrier, so he has that going for him. But he does not provide a good matchup versus AM at all.
No,
and
that seemed rough. But like, what was your better option? Like Alchemist was the only one which went to really through and that you liked.
I think it's Alchemist or PL. PL at least has a magic resistance talent. That is, I think, very important, so you don't get to Crab Reaver and just die. But it's still very difficult for them, and it makes our team fight really weak. Like, they have Global Silence, but so what?
Yeah. Buy some time for Mushi to create more Mushis. Like, that's kind of it.
It's also Mushi playing the PL.
Yep.
Mushi plays a lot of heroes, but not all Mushi heroes were created equal. He plays a real Venno. I think that's like one of his top tier. His PL is middling, I would say.
So on a scale of Venno to Medusa with Lincolns and Manta, how would you rate Mushi's PL?
Not that bad with Lincolns and Manta. But, okay, I think one of his worst heroes is Ember Spirit. If you watch him play Ember, it's like, oh my god, he does not play Ember Spirit.
All right.
So I mean, PL's he's probably like a 6. If 10 out of 10 is his Venno and 1 out of 10 is his Ember.
Okay.
And 3 out of 10 is Medusa, if I had to put a number on it.
Should also flag the fact, too, we're having a 3-position Night Stalker in this game. Not a surprise after Jad's performance in Game 1 with his clockwork. It was amazing rotations, but a Night Stalker 3-position. What do you actually think about when you think about like item build changes as well as timing changes when you push a Night Stalker into that off-lane core role?
You don't know with Ice as Ice. He goes weird builds sometimes.
All right, well, I'll come back to it in like 10 minutes time then.
I don't know what you want to get this game. Like, you don't really want to take it late because AM destroys your entire team, but you also don't really want to, like, not buy a Midas, I would say. Because you're not going to be able to push high ground very early. So I guess you have to take it late and buy Midas and then play it from there.
That seems to be a lot of waiting with items from both sides. Like, the PL's going to take time to come online. I suppose the Mirana with rotations and Arrow can still do a good job.
Yeah, you actually want the Silencer to get a lot of farm in this game. I think Silencer really needs like a Glimmer Cape is going to be huge for him.
Well, at the moment, he's tasked with trying to zone out Eunice. That's his primary goal, while Moon dropping Samel down very low. In fact, both mid-heroes and dead. Oh, the salve. He came in too close, and Moon just gets that one attack in. That's problematic. And that wasn't a fresh one coming in either. That was a couple of stat items for Samel.
I guess at least the Mirana doesn't have a salve. So that
I hate to tell you, man, there's a salve as well as a clarity coming on the courier. But Crit starts his charge too far into the tower. So a clarity and salve will start burning.
Yeah, I mean, he does have pulse regen too, so not the biggest deal in the world.
Yeah.
It was kind of cool that he did not go for leap at level 2, though. I see he leap most of the time, but he was somewhat close to getting killed with Starstorm.
Well, Moon, Malaysia Starstorm going off again. And Samel 10-4 against the 5-2, so Samel does have the edge on the CS, even though there isn't like half an extra creep wave for Moon to farm up in front of him. So Mushi starting his harassment as well on bottom lane. While he's out, Ninja Boogie's using the double damage rune just to hold and deny up his own lane. Problematic for Universe against that. Clockwork's also looking for an opportunity up on top lane. Gonna close the distance, able to get the cogs onto Jakiro. Fear, gonna dual breath onto both Night Stalker as well as Clockwork, while Spirit Breaker begins his charge forward. Fear is low, they can't really move much further forward. Narteezy burning off as much mana as he possibly can. Cogs off cooldown in 2 seconds, 1 second, and he's just got enough to push back Fear, but he's locked in with Arteezy, who will claim first blood up on the top lane, and there was nothing Ice could have done to really help him.
Level 1 dual breath too strong. I mean, Jakiro is actually one of the strongest heroes of level 1. We used to joke that he's ranged ogre, which is kind of true.
Yeah. Isn't he actually, like, I don't know if it's still true, but he used to have the highest strength gain of any support hero in the game.
I don't know. He has 2.6. This is pretty ridiculously good.
No. 700 HP at level 1 with no items.
Yeah, that is incredibly high.
Beautiful for him. So early on, there's a lot of denies in the bottom lane. This is the one upside. The fact that Universe is sitting at level 3. Ice is at the same.
Damn, that's a lot of denies. 15?
Yeah, he's really holding that bottom lane back. Waiting for actually his big item as well. Because like, how do you build it with the Phantom Lancer? Like, do you try and get early aggression items?
There's two different styles. One is a tank, and one is a split push. Split push is like BOTs into whatever, and another one's is like treads into maybe like drums Yasha diffusal, some variation of that. So depends on which way he wants to go. I think a lot of it depends on how well the AM's doing, too.
Well, right now Arteezy has just as many last hits as him, or pretty damn close anyway. Doesn't have anywhere near nice, but still.
And how well the Necro's doing. Like, if the Necro's doing very poorly, you can just get like a diffusal and just kill him over and over so he never really gets into the game. But if Necro gets out of hand, you're going to have to go a more farm-oriented build.
Jabs is trying to make the most of this Invis rune. Coming in around behind Sumail. Still got the creep wave there. Fear does TP in as well, but Sumail's in very close to T1 tower. So Jab starts off with the cogs. He'll get an instant arrow into Sumail. Almost impossible to dodge that one. Crit starts his charge forward, but it cannot create enough space for Sumail to get off the death pulse.
That was so close to him getting death pulse off. He also had a stick and a salve. I don't think there was any way for them to disable the salve during so that would have been really close with them.
Universe is harassing Jabuki out. Decrepify plus Blast. Heavy amounts of damage, and Jabuki actually lost 50% of his HP because of that. Well, they run in again towards mid. This time it's not Mineski initiating, it's Crit. Charging forward as the Spirit Breaker.
Got that clarity.
Yeah, value cancel, but now 5 minutes hit, so both Jabs and Moon will burn the Shrine. And it looks like Fear and Crit will do the same. And you be Necro in mid, you don't need that Shrine. Overall net worth is still going the way of Arteezy. And the Radiant Creep Wave got pulled over. But he got the early ring, he is going to look to complete up his treads before he's for the Battle Fury.
Standard.
Yeah.
Mushi going for Soul Ring. See that pretty often too. On that safe lane. I don't think special here. Yeah, I really do think Nibiki needs more farm though, or else AM just gonna chomp him up so easily. Yeah. And he's also just gonna die to like Pugna War too. His spells are relatively expensive.
Well, maybe when the Mirana starts roaming, you can just push the Silencer into the mid. Dangerous when the Spirit Breaker is charging around and he is now moving towards that top lane. Cannot commit in. Ice saw him coming with the Observer Ward around the top rune area. Both sides have good vision on that area.
Uh-oh. Itemizing for Cloak already, because they have crap physical damage. Unless Mirana gets a lot of farm, but even so, it's not terribly easy for her.
Jabs is doing Jab things again. He's sniping out the bounty runes while the Kuro as well as SB is gravitating towards that top lane. Now, even with this charge forward, I don't see Crit finding a kill, because this can be done so easy for Ice. Just turn around, void him. We are during nighttime phase as well. Not a lot of mana, but then consume the mango. A quick void. Ice pushing the issue. Goes to the Hunter of the Night. He needs the movement speed. 24 HP. Crit drop down to. He'll turn around. Goes for the charge. And Nice doesn't have the mana. Ice pushing the envelope.
If he had his phase boots, he would have gotten that kill.
But he did not. And that means EG able to get the offlaner of Mineski underneath their own tier 1 tower. Looking for some revenge. A quick TP out to Pugna. Decrepifies. TP smartly. Jabs causing issues in the mid. Once again, the cogs trapping in Sumail. A quick void. Where's that arrow to fly? Sumail just ghost shrouding for the moment. You don't have that arrow available. Starfall's up. There's your lead into the Starfall. Moon will claim that one. And Sumail goes down now for the second time in the game.
Yeah, big kill for them, but AM is still relatively large. They also, I mean, they have some silences, but once he gets Manta style, they don't really have a solution for him. It looks like he's pretty good in his quest to get a pretty early Battle Fury. I don't really see anything stopping him that well. It's going to be daytime pretty soon, so they don't have to worry about Night Stalker.
Moon needs to leap himself further away. He's got support. It's going to be the Clockwork crit. Oh, he's got more than enough movement speed. Having both boots as well as Windlace. Easy escape.
Yeah, a lot of boots Windlace in this game. So now is about the time where things might start happening for Ishii and for Mineski. Like Mineski, you kind of just accept the fact that AM's going to get farmed now because Night Stalker died twice, or they had 2 deaths up in the top lane, so that's not going well. You just say okay, we'll deal with them later because they can't do anything about it now, and both teams are going to try and group up, and Mineski's going to try and take advantage of the 5v4, and EG are just going to try and just do minor things, like loosely creating space so that AM can do his thing. But really, they need to protect Necro because Necro's been dying a fair amount. And like you know, you need to group up so you protect your Pugna in case he wants to start sieging some towers. So they really need to make good use of this 5v4 time. And PL can trade farm with AM, but you don't really want to. You don't have any good like super farm accelerators. Soul Ring's like okay, but you're not getting Battle Fury, you're not getting Maelstrom, and that's pretty much the only 2 items that melee.
They're going to go on the bottom lane. Mushi, hit the
TP,
land,
though.
says, well, yeah, there is that TP.
Yeah, so
Let's force him all the way back to base, and Mushi is instantly TPing top part of the attack, picks up the Ring of Aquila, where the courier was waiting for
where
it.
was the Soul Ring usage, man?
But, well, it's going to happen at least. So it does actually work in the way you said. So now you're going to get farm and space for silence, and Ninja Buki has the bottom lane all to himself.
He really needs farm. I really have to emphasize like how much farm he needs, especially relative to other games where he's just dirt poor. Like he will just get trashed later if he's gonna still sit at 780 net worth. Well, he just got 2 creeps, so.
This does feel like 2 minutes too early though. Like you do this rotation 2 minutes before the nighttime, so ISIS moves off the top lane. He's looking to hunt the mid, but there's no darkness available. Jabs close the distance here. Void will help. Remember, it's still nighttime. There's a lot of one charges. Arrow flies forward. Samel still wants the illusion rune, and he will be able to claim it as he turns his attention towards ISIS. Crit, charge forward. Void will cancel that one. Fear does have the ice plant to hold him there. They've almost got the sight, and here it comes onto the Night Stalker, but it's not enough damage. Raindrops and stick. He'll survive, but will it be enough? 4 HP. The door bread from Fear will reach him. The liquid fire wasn't going to tick him out, thanks to the 4 HP he still had.
That cog actually blocked ice in a little bit. Well, at least they didn't lose Ninja Boogie on bottom. He almost died to RTZ coming in on bottom.
Well, Jabs is looking to rotate. Oh, Moon! 5 seconds, count them all. You can decrepify for the Colts pushback. Damn. And the battery assault damage will be enough.
That was a huge arrow from him.
Oh,
He was
DZ never
really
saw
close
that
to getting
coming.
Battle Fury too. Like he was at like 500 gold and he just needed his broadsword. Just 1 more minute of farming, they would have been good. Well, the thing is, he didn't actually need a TP away from top lane because he could have just farmed up there. But they want to prioritize some more farm on the supports. Maybe Jakiro getting a little bit of farm up there, and maybe thinking that they could have gotten a kill on Ninja Boogie. But Ninja Boogie has evaded a lot of deaths. He's like that cat that has too many lives.
Now there's global silence available. If only you could have the mana to use it, but.
Just important that he gets levels over here. He and probably that GPM talent coming later in the game.
Oh, they're going to kill
15.
bottom.
Yeah,
The
Universe is in a
Observer
pretty good spot.
The
though.
Observer Ward vision is perfect, but it's the fact that Jabs has hookshot available, so the level 6 is currently on the Clockwork. Can see Crypt moving back.
Yeah, they're not really seeing anyone though.
Well,
Everyone's
they're pinging. They know this vision. They actually just leave. Checking to see where Arteezy is with the rocket.
well, no one has 4 stabs this early in the game, so everyone's a pretty easy kill aside from RTZ, unless he gets 5-second arrow again.
Chance that that's low. But Jabs is causing some problems and going to take some of the creeps from him. And Arteezy is scared to look all the way up to the tier 2 tower.
Yeah, because it's not a good time for him to farm neutrals. Like you want to have your Battle Fury at this time when you're farming neutrals, but it's still a little bit slow. Ice gets charged up in mid, but ooh, nice attempt at an arrow there. I wouldn't say these arrows from Nan are pretty spot on. Yeah. He doesn't get that much farm in these games, but his arrows have been A+.
It's always so early that Mineski is able to pick up that urn. Obviously, you get it on the off laner this time around.
I don't know if they're going to be able to get that many kills with it, though. Like, EG are playing a pretty good keep-away game.
Well, they're about to run down to bottom, and Universe has no way out. One apart from a straight-up TP. There's your global silence from Ninja Boogie. Arrow flies forward, and Ninja Boogie just wants out. He'll be able to succeed with this, but now goes all the way back home. Universe will die at the Starfall, so +2 chances. Unfortunately, there's no +2 for Ninja Boogie.
And it looks like Phantom Laser will be going for the BOTs first.
Oh, they're battling it out in mid too. Clock pushing Fear the wrong side. He's running back in again, but he knows he cannot survive. Quick ends up the hill, the point blank range hook shot. It will be enough to hold Samael in position.
Dude,
EG losing 3 heroes in the space of 30 seconds.
He is such a boss. He double cogged the Necrophos and pushed back the Twin Head Dragon into the lane. Like, that was ridiculous. And he was also high enough HP. Like, he doesn't have any items, but he was still able to avoid that critical Reaper territory as well. And this is with a Veil already on Necrophos, so that Reaper territory is going to be a little bit higher. And you have to Crep, so it's going to be tough for him. They probably needs a pipe at some point, and he actually is going for a Blade Mail a little bit early on. Blade Mail, I'm not as big a fan of, just because there's a lot of heal. Like, Pugna doesn't really care too much about Blade Mail. Necrophos, I mean, he can just heal it all back up if he gets the Reaper kill, but Jabs knows what's up.
Yeah, it's keeping the pressure on more than anything else. And I suppose, like, if this game does go late, the combination of EG will be able to get a pick off when Mineski force high ground. And how do you even force high ground? Like, their lineup, unless the Mirana's got heavy damage?
You get fight on Mirana. Mirana's probably going to get fat too, because Spirit Breaker hasn't been terribly effective in the ganks, and he's kind of the only one that can kill the Mirana right now. Like, they don't have great disables. Maybe if Twin Head gets Yules, but that is not happening from Fear. He's a position 5.
You would still think, though, a hero who is 4 kills up would be higher in net worth than both the Necro and the Anti-Mage. Netherstrike, not going to work. He's actually at 4.6k to the 4.3, 4.5k of the EG cores.
Yeah, that's decent. Like, Mirana is not a super great laner. She's good at not dying, but in terms of getting last hits, her base damage is extremely low. So Phantom Lancer did take at least the attack speed talent, thank God.
Nine Stalker, trouble, but then again, maybe not so much. Global Silence will buy space for Ice to run away. Moonlight Shadow has been triggered, but then again, so is Dust from Evil Genius. This is want to fight. Spirit Breaker, wrong side. The arrow is going to be perfect from Moon.
Do you see these global silences?
Oh, he's actually in. Jabs, he already found an opening. He hasn't even used Hookshot to get this. They've isolated Fear. Ice looking for another kill, so will allow Moon to pick up the pieces. Fear will fall down. Samel wants to run out this one. The curse is out. Jabs has the Hookshot available, and he'll hit the money. A follow-up arrow, and there goes Samel. A little bit dumber for the experiences. Now Ninja Boogie has +8 on the Stolen Intelligence.
They're constantly underestimating the global silence. Like, every single time they go in for a kill, boom, global silence. And, oh, nice deny.
Denied! Oh, he's in trouble. Oh, maybe not. Dodging the attack from Crit. Nether strikes right. Mushi trying to out-mind game them by microing the illusion out, but EG do not fall for it. But then again, Mushi, here we go again. Which one do they go for? They go for the real one and the fake one. Either way, thanks to the cleave that Arteezy has with the Battle Fury, they could work it out, and Mushi will die.
Still got a tower.
Yeah, even though it was denied, small victories. The consolation prize once more.
Attack speed is way better, though. I really dislike that Spirit Lance damage talent, because attack speed is just... Like, Spirit Lance damage is okay, but it's only good if you get Scepter, and even if you get Scepter, it's kind of mediocre. I think 20 attack speed just scales way better all game, because you kind of just want to make as many illusions as possible. And attack speed, now that it transfers to illusions, I think is just far superior, especially when you're just not really fighting. It helps you farm a lot faster.
They're going to fight mid.
And push towers down.
Hook shots available. They can see him from behind. The hook shots out to the Pugna. The arrow is perfect. Universe won't be able to get anything off in this fight. And Crit dropped so low, he copped the full Starfall, and they're moving in deeper once more. The Lance out into Fear. Mushi jumping over the top of the ice path.
Jabs. Jabs. What a great position 4 he's been playing.
Oh, Crit's just trying to sacrifice for the glory of Samael. He charges forward to create space, but I don't think don't think that was really going to change the outcome of this fight.
Nope.
Tier 2 tower's going to fall as well. Moon had the double damage rune. The crazy thing is what led up to that fight was Moon walking over the top of an observer ward into the tree line, and EG didn't react.
Well, they think that it's a really good time to push. It's been daytime, and they still need more time on Anti-Mage. So Anti-Mage eats up like half their map. Like he just eats up so much farm because he's an Anti-Mage. He can blink around and farm so many creeps. So naturally they want to push with Pugna because there's still a lot of T1s up and it's daytime, and they want to group up because that's what their line was kind of meant to do. 4-on-5, get some ideally free towers, but Mineski, they're really swift to the punch. They've been pretty decent at just farming and being there at the same time. A lot of it, I would say, due to the BOTs by the Phantom Lancer, and I think mostly because of Ninja Boogie being able to prevent a lot of kills from EG with the great use of Global. I really think his Global timing has been extremely on point and preventing EG from getting any more than they should in this early game.
Yeah, that's the reason why they sit there with only 4 kills. But 2 of them have gone to the Anti-Mage, and we have to keep this in mind while we're talking about just how potentially weak Mineski's high ground push is going to be. There's so much clearance from EG. Even if you're just macro pyring down waves, you've got Blast, you've got Death Pulse, you've got some decent clearance from EG. And if Mineski overcommit, then they lose a hero for a long time to the Reaper's side. So they can create space even in high ground defense for Arteezy to get bigger, and he's 8.7k net worth and increasing, and it's only going to get bigger with his Battle Fury.
He might get to that point where he can like kind of take them in a fight, but you still one of the problems with AM is you sometimes peak too early, and you need everyone else. You need to be able to spread the farm out equally. But at the moment, it doesn't look like he's going to be able to get like a fat Necrophos on his team too. So yeah, Phantom Lancer went for a farming build. He's keeping up decently in net worth, which is pretty impressive, I would say, as a Phantom Lancer versus a Battle Fury AM. But it should start to widen a little bit. The gap right now is about 1k. Maybe it'll be like 3-4k a few minutes, 10 minutes down the line if neither hero dies. But Arteezy, I would say, has a much higher risk of dying because the start of the game he doesn't have Manta Stop.
Is dead. Perfect hook shot. He slices right down the middle of the creep wave, hitting Samael. Night Stalker was already running in from behind. Global silence. Maybe a little bit later in case EG was going to stick around, but then again, Ice still looking to push the issue, but they're just going to push the mid. That'll work too, and there's the macro pyre for the D push.
So when this happens, when you're just farming out with the Anti-Mage, you cannot afford to lose your Necrophos over and over and over again. He built defensively too, is the thing with the hood. He's not like
0 for 5.
Yeah, and they have 2 defusals. Mushi, I believe, has completed his. No, not yet, but he almost has it.
There's one on Moon.
And, yeah, Moon has a defusal. So like Necrophos is not in a good spot to survive. Maybe like a defensive Decrep into a Ghost Shroud into another defensive Decrepify like might save him, but even then they have like...
There's your second. It just flew on the Curry to Mushi.
It's not looking good for Necrophos. I think the AM's happy, but Necrophos, he's in a sticky spot.
Yeah. And Mineski now, like, understand too exactly what they have to watch. This almost feels like a Mortal's warding game of like from their series yesterday, where the wards are watching exactly how EG can recover. So they're watching the jungle areas. There's 3 perfect wards down, as we've just shown that Mineski have. So they know every single time where Arteezy is farming. And the only way Arteezy can avoid this is by crossing the river. Is the only way to really do it. But then you go into Mineski territory. The rocket flies forward. They're looking for a target and they just won't find it. EG have already smoked up, missed their target, and they've come all the way back with a loop around top lane.
They do dodge the gank. So Mineski's actually got a nice...
Yeah, close to crit. They want Arteezy. Rocket gives good vision. Where's that hook shot? And the target, there it is. Perfectly onto Universe. Arrow flies forward, and it actually can't push into crit. 5 seconds done on him. The scythe will drop. So Japs will fall, and Samael gets a much needed kill. While Crit will be able to charge away. Mushi lands on cooldown. He can't kill Crit, but if Crit keeps going this way, he'll end up dying to the creeps, but yeah, he'll pull out. And has a TP available to him. He'll take the bounty rune first, however.
So really close. I think if Mushi had max Phantom Rush, you actually probably just right-click them down. it would have been pretty close. So still pretty good fight. Like, they're not afraid to walk up to that shrine, and EG, they just cannot find any good like positioning too, because AM's not quite ready to fight.
Samael got a full pipe, now completed that money. He's still short buyback, short by about 500 gold. But if Arteezy can keep dodging this, very close to his own Manta Style, so some team fight items that EG can use to at least stop Mineski having all the power. And EG, they want to initiate Ice Ice Ice, however, he just jumps over the hill with Hunter in the Night.
This is actually one of the least greedy I've seen Ice 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 build, like, ever. Like,
Aura,
phase, yeah. Aura, Earn, and BKB next? Is this even Ice Ice Ice?
Oh, Arteezy's got to get the hell out of here right now. Hook shot forward once again. Exact same place. Global Silence is out, but the Four Stars, they're kiting it out nicely. Jabs the cogs, locking in Universe. Not really a lot he can do there. And Fear wants to help commit. The Ice Path is good as Arteezy finds the kill onto Jabs. Moon visible on the backlines, coming out the Moonlight Shadow. But now the Diffuser plays. They're burning off the mana. The side can't get the kill, but at least the follow-up damage will. 3 heroes down for Mineski. Arteezy limping away. The Urn and the Curse. He's going to end up ticking out in front of his own tier 3 tower. Mineski, they've got the power, but even with that power, the 3-3 trade-off is not what they're looking for. They need more. They're searching for Djibouti, and they're going to kill him with the Death Pulse. He'll end up falling. Mineski lose 4 to EG's 3.
Yeah, huge fight. Mirana, there's just so much damage that's going around that they can't really avoid. Like Pugna War, they aren't able to really snipe early. And a big reason I think they lost the fight was because Global was not up. So they were doing a pretty good job in the first 20 minutes of like kind of fighting when Global was up every single time. But now they think they actually have enough items to fight them early on. So great hookshot. It's a problem when Jabs has as many items as your Pugna. He just follows them every time. 4 stabs, boom, just kill him. But yeah, like this is a really bad choke point for them to fight too. They have the high ground and Mineski aren't a choke. Jabs can't avoid, but can't help but die. Maybe if he had a hood at some point, but like Mooney's like, you know, he's really low before the fight even starts. So the Reaper doesn't actually end up killing him, but he's just so low at that point that he ends up dying. And they almost didn't even get Arteezy here.
Yeah. Next fight's gonna be a lot harder. Like Samael, he lived through that entire thing. Like he ended up getting over like almost 1,200 gold for that fight. Did more damage than anybody else, and it's going to keep increasing. And he's going for a Radiance build, so got the pipe now, 2.7k towards the Relic. And EG want to kill, but they're looking in the wrong position. Mineski have gone towards Roshan.
This is because of Night Stalker's build. He actually went for a solo curse after, and the Vlad's. Like, again, you usually don't expect this from Ice Ice, so they don't think they can actually take Rose because normally you're like, okay, Ice Ice is probably with the Midas out farming somewhere, probably getting a Scepter maybe, so he can try and find AM in the trees, but that's actually not what's happening in this game. So I do like to switch it from them. It's super easy, free Roche, kind of wasted smoke from EG, and they are getting a lot of damage on this tower, but
they're coming to defend it.
Yep.
You do have the Mana Style on Arteezy, but yeah, with Solar Crest up and running, even with the Butterflies up for Anti-Mage, this is still going to be problematic for Arteezy to survive. Where's that hook shot? Perfect. Catching at the Necro, 4 stars, already beginning jabs. Not a lot of mana to work with Global Silence. There's no real way EG can respond to this one. Arteezy wants to, looking for a target and have the damage, but it's coming in from Mushi. Universe, the #1 target every time from Mineski, and they get him every time. Crit will fall as well as EG. They're in full retreat. The silence is on Samael. This will be a nice kill for them to claim. Taking that streak, taking the fight after taking Roshan, and Fear will fall as well. 1 left up for Evil Geniuses. This is snowballing out of control. Lasted longer than game 1 at least.
Jabs is so good on this clock. Like, he is just nailing these hook shots and just going in there and setting everything up for his team. Like, his rotations have been on point, and you can see why Clockwork is just Pugna's downfall. Like, Pugna can't itemize the way he normally wants to. Look at his items. He is so poor. Like, normally Universe does not have a bad game. This is probably one of the worst games that we've seen. 0-5-3. His net worth is 5,000. Like, that's really low. And even so, he has to build a cloak too. He obviously forced that versus the clock, but normally you want Aether Lens and maybe like half Perceptive by this point. But he just gets isolated in the fights. Even like a simple Cogs pushback can interrupt his life train. And if he battery assaulted or like trapped inside the Cogs, he is definitely dead.
Yeah. And the hilarious thing too is like EG was so confident with his pickup, they still took it in the first phase. But so was Mineski with their clockwork.
Yeah.
Like, you can question it in game 1. We're like, is this really the... No question anymore. This is now respect to Mineski if anybody bans the clockwork in the first phase. And that's a horrible position to put yourself in.
I would say Silencer might be a bigger deal because he's able to hookshot in and not just instantly get Decrep blasted and die because of the Silencer. So it's kind of a dual thing, but still
they're coming up. Arteezy, 109, they'll jump up. They really want Arteezy. He doesn't have Blink of Verbal. Hookshot jabs him once more. Cogs pushing him back. There's the silence coming off cooldown for Ice. Have they held him? Yes, they have. 72 seconds without Arteezy. Buyback is available, but this is not the money you want to spend on your core. He needs this for his butterfly. They'll get rid of the high ground vision, getting rid of that Observer Ward. But Mineski want to force this buyback.
There is no doubt in my mind that Japanese have been MVP so far in this game.
Well, unfortunately, we can't give him a Mercedes-Benz, but the mid lane's going to be pressured in.
Oh, interesting.
Tier 3 tower being chipped away.
Shadowblade. Shadowblade's unusual. I can see it makes sense on the Venge, but it's much more questionable on the Phantom. Regardless, they're still getting a lot of damage on the tower. 20 seconds left. That's not very long.
Yeah, Macro Pyres on cooldown for like longer than that time. If they had it, they could defend this push easily. But Sumail's losing so much mana, they may even have to burn the shrine soon, but they get the initiation to side! Well, goodbye Mushi. You're down for 82 seconds. They don't have to use the AM buyback, but that mid tower has 32 HP. This is the sacrifice that EG had to make in order to make their anti-mage stay up in net worth. Words, language, there.
The Shadowblade. Why Shadowblade? I don't really think another item would have really saved him.
Maybe it's just so we can get into the back line.
Yeah, but
it's the same thing as we saw from the CK, right? At least the same mentality.
Most of the time you'll see Blink over that on PL, or the thing is you already have Phantom Rush, so you can actually run into the fights, which is not a luxury that most carries can have.
Do you get any advantage from having then just the Silver Edge then?
That's what I thought he was going for, but he doesn't have it on his quick buy. He's
got Butterfly.
Yeah, so the Silver Edge could be pretty useful if you're trying to burst down the anti-mage, but they don't actually have that much magic to burst down the anti-mage. So, yeah, I don't particularly like the Shadowblade pick. I don't really know what else I would build instead. Maybe Manta or Lincoln's even. Lincoln's might be okay. But really, they need a Glimmer counter support. So if that happens, you get Glimmered and you're fine. Or you might not die.
But right now it supports, well, you don't want to buy it on the Silencer, and the Clockwork's going for a BKB.
I would say I would prefer personally like a Pipe on the NS and a Glimmer on the Glimmer on the Silencer.
Are you asking Ice to be more sacrificial? He's already got Solar Crest if Vlad's an Urn.
Well, he's going for BKB. BKB's okay, but BKB's not... You can't kill people if you BKB because he doesn't have the damage. He doesn't have a damage build. He doesn't have like a Basher or one of the normal damage builds on Night Stalker. Well, I say normal. It's not really a normal thing to do, but you just don't want anyone to die to the Reaper. And if you get BKB, it only protects you. What if your PL gets Reaper? Then he can't. He doesn't offer anything. That's why I prefer something that helps out the team a little bit more over an individual item. Especially with the way that he's been building, which has been completely team-oriented.
Well, okay. Yeah, okay. So the end result is the fact that PL now doesn't have enough to deal with the anti-mage, who is hitting his stride.
Well, that was always an issue, I would say. Even like before this game got kind of out of hand for EG, the PL is just not a good matchup. Like, you would have to go like a very, very different build. You need to go like a Butterfly Basher or something like that to deal with the anti-mage.
Is this what Blitz refers to as a free AM game?
There's some long duration silences, I would say. Like, you're going to have to Manta out of the global, and then Crippling Fear later on in the game is going to be a big issue. So I would say not a free AM game. It's a good core-on-core match, though, I will say. Very good core-on-core matchup.
Well, he's level 21, almost 22. He is 4.5k net worth in front of the other core, and after cleaning up one wave, now make that 5k. And he's going to have both BKB, Butterfly, Manta, Battle Fury, and still one extra slot available. And he'll finish all of this in the next 5 minutes, unless they can find pickoffs just like this. The cogs push back. Manta breaks free and blinks out. They do not have the control on him. And almost impossible to get the perfect silence timing after he mantis before he blinks.
Yeah, maybe they could have four-step him into a second cog. That's far-fetched, but maybe the only way they could have killed him in that exact situation.
So do you get another lockdown? Like, you're getting MKB on the Mirana, the PL's going Butterfly, so you don't have a pistol out from him or something along these lines?
He's going to need BKB on the PL, I think. Hart doesn't do jack versus a Necrophos. You really do want a BKB, so maybe Butterfly BKB. Does it really need Butterfly right now?
Okay, if you're going for all these items, though, doesn't that mean you just have to go high ground? There's just no other choice?
No, because AM's going to be 6-slotted. You can just wait for him to get 6-slotted and kind of peel out a little bit. He's going for BKB on any mid, so that's already 4 or 5 slots on him.
Well, EG's coming down the mid. They feel strong enough to fight this. Even if they are 8,000 gold and experience behind, they're going to push down the mid. Look to claim that tier 2 tower.
It's going to be a big problem if Arteezy gets the next Roche.
Put Nagus the Immortal on that.
Yeah. Or, I mean, I would say even just even if the Necrophos gets it with the Radiance, that's a big problem. There's going to be too much damage going on in the fights for Mineski to survive, unless they get their double pipe up.
Very cheeky Moon. He jumped in through the mid, took the tier 3 tower.
Yeah, so that's a good play.
So it's gone. EG is having to wait for maximum spawn time on Roshan.
Which is bad, because nighttime's coming up pretty soon.
Yeah.
And they have time to take out the shrines.
Arteezy will have time though to farm up his buyback. So now he's got the BKB, and he'll have buyback for the fight. But yeah, as you said, the shrines are in jeopardy. So EG have to protect their one closest to Roshan if they want to use any kind of buybacks to defend Roshan. And here's another items. BKB up for the Night Stalker.
BKB up on Clock, BKB up on AM. This Roche fight is going to be it. And Lincoln Sphere on Moran. I actually think I prefer the Lincoln Sphere on the PL2. But I guess he's more melee, so he's going to get destroyed by Decrep at any time. But
EG's going to try and fight before this. Charge forward on a PL. Mushi just started his TP, so he won't have that anymore. Global Silence is out, so Doppelganger, Mushi, trying to create more of himself to fight, and he's invisible. The Shadow Blade lets him run up into the trees, and they don't know where he's gone. They don't have detection. Mushi has gone northwest, but EG, they checked almost every other place but the tree that Mushi was hiding behind.
Global Silence MVP.
Item now value.
Well,
they had 3 sentries on Fear.
if he had a Lincoln, he would have also just been able to TP out, so.
That's supposed they had 3 sentries on Fear, and they had Dust on Crit.
I don't. Well, the thing about it Dust is if he doppelgangers, then
It dispels.
Yeah. So, yeah. I also don't know when it was purchased, but it looks like Radiance is coming up very, very soon.
Well, EG can look for another opportunity. As you said, Roshan is up soon. It's in 12 seconds. Roshan will spawn. And already they're fishing with arrows.
This is a big one. AM could potentially end the game with his Aegis.
He can solo kill this Roshan as well.
He doesn't have lifesteal. It's not going to be a great road for them, because if he's isolated into the pit, he can easily get arrowed.
They're charging forward. They're looking towards Isis. The charge should be able to connect. However, it's just too much Mushi around Arteezy. Desperately trying to clear off. Hook shot from Jabs. This time it's going to miss. Samael was left alone. EG moved further north to try and help out Arteezy. Left Samael all by his little lonesome to keep the mid lane pressured. But they really want to go in for Roshan. They've burnt their shrine already. And the Clockwork Rocket sees this very clearly, but no hook shot for 33 seconds. So they charge forward. They look for Mushi. This time the dust will hit after the doppelganger, before the doppelganger comes off cooldown. So they'll kill him off, and no buyback for Mushi. Looks like Mineski cannot contest this Roshan now. No global silence, no Mushi.
Shadowblade not value. Also, that Observer ward on the high ground on the left side leading to the charge. Value Observer.
Oh, Roshan is falling. 1200, the arrow from Mirana flies in, it hits onto Sumail. Ice Path making sure Aegis the Immortal ends in the hands of Anti-Mage. And they'll pass the cheese over to Sumail. And EG's coming down mid. They want a lane of rags, they want to gain green.
Bad time for Mineski. Firstly, I don't know what Mushi's doing over there. He's also just playing way too close to the cliffs and the tree lines versus a Spirit Breaker, which is not where you want to play at all.
They're going to lose ice. Charge up on top. I suppose you do at least have the BKB, but his Hunter of the Night will wear off. Sumail moves over, and actually they're up too high. They won't dive under the tier 2 tower for it.
Using a BKB to stall out for PL's res timer is a value play. That's a good 10-second usage right there. Look at where that creep wave is. So far away.
I'm sorry, can we get PGL to add now a new overlay? Merlini's value meter. How much value are we swinging at each side?
Shadowblade is pretty low on there. 10-second BKB value, pretty high.
The Moon's creating space at the moment. Takes out the bottom shrine. Now has enough money if he wants to pick up his double javelins. But this is going to sacrifice his buyback if he wants to have that true hit.
Worth. He's not really in any danger. He only gets locked down by, what, Reaper and Spirit Breaker? I guess maybe Abyssal too, but Abyssal's not out yet. AM's getting close to there, so after he gets Abyssal, he's going to be 6-slotted. You can have some marginal upgrades like C instead of Butterfly, in case you're worried about True Strike, but they're all pretty marginal at that point. So he's getting too big for his own good soon. Yeah, I don't think they're going to be able to do that much with it. Actually, they're pushing a lot. This could be it.
Yeah, looking for that opportunity. TZ moves forward, still got the Aegis for a while. And they'll avoid, they'll silence. He's still got Mana Style if he wants to break.
Wow, that is a lot of damage on him before he even touches T3.
Man, this is before like the illusions start coming out, start burning off his mana too. They just create more Mushis. Doppelganger to run forward, they're fishing with the arrows, won't find the target.
So 2.5 minutes on Aegis, so they have, what, 5 waves, I would say, to do this? And all they need is a big Reaper hit on someone.
That's going to be difficult. He's still taken down from range harass. The damage from Moon.
Yeah.
He got 1 proc on the MKB.
That is why you buy MKB instead of waiting for buyback.
And they're leaving. They have Aegis the Immortal and EG are leaving. They have both Aegis and Cheese, and they refuse to go high ground for this.
Well, they know it's just way too risky.
Oh, Mineski. RTZ's so close.
They have
to blink up there. Do they have vision?
Hook shot into Cog into Arrow.
Okay, just walk point blank range. That sentry's up too far. Whoops. Well, there goes your Aegis the Immortal. As Mineski, they just want out. Triggering out the darkness. Vision's not going to be great. And Sumail walks directly to the arrow. RTZ wants to try and find. BKB's up. Goes for the Mana Void. Minimal damage into Ninjabugi as well as Moon. But the fight continues. Fear's already dropped. And RTZ, that BKB is wearing off. They're looking for another target. Universe being hunted the back lines by Mushi. Forcing the rest of EG to return and defend their partner, who's already down. But at least they'll scythe. Execute Mushi.
Mushi, please.
He just wants the back line. He just wants the freebies.
Yeah, not with those items. Again, Shadowblade is just not the play.
It's like he believes he could run away, take the kill, Shadowblade, and run out.
Yeah, but Spirit Breaker destroys him. You have to be like ridiculously good with micro if you want to get away with this build. Like you have to just mind game them after mind game after mind game so that charge never gets on your real one. But he's not able to do that.
No. Not so far. Like even when we saw his illusion micro on the top lane, like he tried to do it twice to EG, and each time EG knew where to go. And life just got harder. A full Abyssal Blade is now completed on the Anti-Mage. He's almost 6-slotted.
Ice is much better at the mind games than... Because Mushi's not a Naga player, and I think Naga players have that tendency with the illusion micro to just next level people, and Ice loves Naga Siren.
I think it also helps the fact that Ice's brain is always tilted in a way you're not going to like expect.
Yeah, so
that guy's crazy.
He's very difficult to read. Anti-Mage, 6 slots, BOTs, BOT2s, Moon Shards. Again, you're not getting great value in return on the gold that you're getting. So the net worth is 5K in Mineski, but I would say it's like, 5K starts to turn into like 7K because EG's gold is not worth as much going into the future. And even Moonshards later on, like, are you going to Moonshard anyone else on your team? Like, he's going to reach his peak pretty soon.
Yeah, Spirit Breaker is the only one who could probably really utilize that Moonshot.
That dude is not going to stay alive. And even so, he could just get Crippling Fear, because Night Stalker's getting... He'll probably get level 25 this game with a -8 second Crippling Fear cooldown, so good luck dealing with the mischance. Because now, Anti-Mage is like, well, once my BKB's over, I need True Strike, so where's he going to fit MKB in? He's not going to get Bloodthorn. I don't think anyone on this team's going to get Bloodthorn, so now he has to worry about that, and then there's like the Solar Crest that he has to deal with. Like, there are a lot of issues coming out, I would say, soon for EG, and I would say that this next Aegis, if they don't get a T3 with this next Aegis, they're probably going to lose.
It looks like they're preparing for a smoke fight anyway.
Well, they need to. This is their time. This next 5-10 minutes is their time.
Well, currently they're still having to battle it out in darkness. It'll wear off in just a second for the target.
Yep.
Showcasing itself in mid, which is Moon. Arteezy will also show himself.
This DD could be a pretty big deal. Like, heroes can die super quickly because he doesn't have that much HP, and the butterfly evasion negated completely.
Oh. Okay, no, not gonna happen.
Good luck finding a fight against Night Stalker at nighttime.
Yeah.
And they have no Aegis, so like AM dies, you just lose all your momentum for the next 5-10 minutes. And that could easily happen with like Darkness and Arrow. Like, you sometimes just can't see it or react in time.
Oh, they look for that target once more. ED pushing over, but Mineski have both vision, high ground, full detection, clockwork locked up. Global silence is out. Arteezy will break free of it, thanks to his own Manta style. But where is the execution? They don't have vision. Once again, Evil Geniuses. They just can't see when Moonlight Shadow burns.
There's no like slots for the heroes to carry stuff.
They're gonna push down. Like, they're coming straight down the middle lane.
It's not. It's gonna end in the same way as last time, where the Mirana is just gonna right-click them down super easily.
Well, Arteezy can at least hunt a curve. That's got the Manta style Moon on it.
Yeah, you can get a T2 as well. But oh wait, no, you can't because the wave's all the way up there.
Oh, you should have enough damage by now, right, to fight the back door?
Really want to risk that? You're in a really bad spot. He probably has to buy back at that point. Is that really worth taking like 1 minute to take out the T2?
Probably not, especially when you're still going to have to TP somebody down to the bottom lane. Like, directly after that fight happened, Moon just ran to the bot lane and pushed it out. So the momentum is already going the way of Mineski down there.
They do need some BOTs soon on EG's side to deal with these lanes.
Yeah.
Lanes are a big, big problem because Mirana's free to push out because she has Lincoln. She knows Spirit Breaker can't touch her right now. So they will be very patient, wait for this tower, and wait for this next Rose shot. It is a 2-minute respawn, post 8.
Well, Arteezy's coming in to probably chip away at the tier 3. He's forced Mineski to come home. That bottom lane didn't push anywhere near as fast as I thought it was going to.
Well, I really like Moon not being there at the fights because he's constantly looking for these runes. These DDs are huge in the fights. He's going to have a lot of uptime in these fights. They can't decrep everyone, and even so he has defusals. So if AM gets a DD on the other hand, that could really just destroy, like, he can just BKB and just destroy the towers. So it's really important that even if he doesn't get the runes himself, he at least takes them away from the opposite side. DD is the best rune right now for both sides.
Well, this is the reason why at the 40-minute mark we get more action runes, is to try and give us action. We've got 1 minute until Roshan's going to be up. As Mineski move forward, that triangle exists. It's worth revealing yourselves to get rid of it if Roshan's to be an extra critical area.
Is. They're also going to get the Arcane Rune Darkness.
Where's the TP's back? EG's making a beeline for that tier 3 tower. They can push pretty damn fast. A quick Nether Blast. Fortification is out. Mineski is rotating back over. Ice guys can come through the rear on this one, but Arteezy takes the tier 3 tower, protected by Lotus Orb, so the lands forward. This actually going to fly back. Mushi dodged it with Doppelganger as the Clockwork hooks in the back lines with the BKB up, but thanks to the Abyssal Blade, Ice almost down, 250 HP. Arteezy's committed in. He's got Mana Void available. He doesn't want to give up the chase, but now he has to. Turning his attention back over towards Moon. He's just bouncing from one target to the next. The Mana Void is out from Jazz. The cycle put him down. The Jebba side is lost. EG fighting inside the base. This is exactly what they need. Clockwork, where's that buyback? He'll need to come back to the world of living if they wanted to actually push EG back out of the base. As Mushi under his tier 4 tower, still not feeling safe. Clockwork is now back up again. Hook shots up in 4 seconds time, and EG, all they want to do is bail. Crit's already starting his TP. I don't know if Samel's going to be as lucky. Fear trying to body block him, but Jabs knows the game. He's trying to catch up. He won't accept the sacrificial spirit cow. He's looking for something more. TP from Universe. He'll be successful, and the Ghost Shroud delaying the inevitable here for Mr. S, who is now RIP'd. Three heroes down for a 3.
Say hello to the double damage. She did twice as much damage as anyone else on her team. 5,200. Without the double damage, it's maybe like 3,000 damage. And that just brought down the anti-mage. It's also a little bit hard to see on Mirana because she's like naturally a little bit bluish. So I don't know if Arteezy was aware that Moon had to DD that fight.
Well, they're going to lose out really big. 3 heroes down. Yes, you got a buyback out, but it was on a Clockwork support. And you're going to lose both Aegis and Cheese to Mineski.
And Anti-Mage hasn't gotten any stronger. And he's going to substitute out the Butterfly for the AC again. Very marginal upgrade because, I mean, he needs it because of True Strike, but armor is just so-so, and his damage isn't going to be that great as a result.
Right now, he's going to need his buyback. Luckily, because Mineski did stop for Roshan, Anti-Mage will have that buyback. It won't be so lucky for Sumail. That mid-Rex is going down. Fortifications available. They let the range Rex fall. The melee, is it going to actually, fortify it up. Smoke up so EG can get closer in position. The trip arrows are flying out. Won't connect on anybody, but the PL illusions are burning off Fierce mana. And even with the fortification, they do not defend the mid-racks. There was no other choice but to let it go.
This Linken's is making life so smooth for him. Normally he would have just get blinked on and then get abyssal right there, but they had to wait for the Pugna to come in to crep him, and then by that time the Rex is already dead. That is value. That's a 10 on 10 on the value meter, whatever you want to call it.
The Merlini value is now maxing on value.
That's a great Linken's. I think Mushi had a Linken's. This game would be a lot easier.
Ops. There's no way he could have seen that. No way at all. It came out of a tree and just whacked him in the face.
EG's timeline's really short. I think if Mineski gets the next Roche, it is pretty high, very, very high probability that they're going to win right now. Anti-Mage is, it's that sinking feeling is like, I'm not getting any stronger, everyone else is getting stronger, and I also died last fight too, so you know that you're very mortal. You want, what? That's like 3 in the last 6 minutes for him. Again, he's just been checking the runes. A very underrated, but I have to emphasize that it's super important that he's at the minimum taking away DDs from Anti-Mage, but more importantly getting it for himself.
The only thing that will make this higher on the Merlini value scale is if he actually bought that bottle at the 40-minute mark and it hasn't been holding it from the very beginning.
Dude, well, because he bought it at the beginning, it's like a 12 out of 10 now.
Max value. That is a lot of creeps up on top lane that Universe can at least soak up. This is big for him because it's going to give him his Aghanim Scepter. If the Courier can make the trip for him. That's if he also wants to sacrifice his buyback in order to have the Ags.
I don't think so at this point if you're EG. I don't think you can fight 4 strong.
Unless you can then just let Sumail sit on the front line, because they don't really have that front line tank. You could say it could be like one of the 2 supports who are insanely tanky, 2k and 1.7k.
No,
for a support, it's normally good, but they just don't have the life.
Good for you, Mushi. You bought a Linken Sphere. Great job.
He hasn't sold a Shadowblade yet, though.
Well, I mean, you're not going to sell it. Not when you have slots.
No, he's being nice to his supports. I'm like, okay, the next item is a Tome of Knowledge.
So again, they have to lead in with this to grab pop the Lincolns and then blink Abyssal, but they have to time it a little much better than that if they want to get a kill.
I really want to see what Mushi does with the Shadow Blade now.
What? He's just gonna keep it until he replaces the cheese with. What does he replace cheese with?
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering. Like, do you get the lockdown? Like, well, RTZ has got the stun over on, but Manda style dodge out the global silence defense is there.
Well, you know, as MVP, there's actually Ice. He managed to silence after the global silence came off with the Lotus Orb. That's how fast he was on that. He was about to get Reaper. Sumail was ready to global, and he still wasn't able to do it.
Nice arrow catch, Fear. We're not going to ace that one in. He's underneath Shrine as well, so if they want to fight, it'll be pretty cocky. Almost everyone from EG has buyback available. Fear's the only one short by 400. Different story for Mineski.
Yeah, well, they're actually scared now because they actually executed on the crab to Abyssal. So now, even with Aegis, you're like, I don't feel that great about it.
The smoke inch forward. They're right underneath the
They don't have global. This is a great time for them to fight.
Yep, and they find an opportunity. Mushi, hi! Lincoln's gonna break. He'll get through with the doppelganger. Nice hook shot forward. Crick getting caught. The nether ward is down. So it's not that easy for Mineski to fight here, especially once these BKBs were. But when Chaps gets such a great cogging, maybe they can create enough space. Chaps is low. Gem of True Sight is lost once more. Clockwork's down for 100 seconds. Spirit Break will buy back into this fight. The Gem of True Sight still not recovered by anybody. Ice is looking for it. Mushi walks and he'll end up grabbing it.
Ooh, and they bought back. Yikes.
Man, I can't believe they didn't actually grab the gem, and then Fear's like, screw it, I'm gonna buy one myself if we can't pick up what is on the ground in front of our cause.
Well, they're too fat now. AM doesn't have boots, dude. How do they have room for a gem?
Yeah.
He dropped his
Yeah, you want to drop your Manta?
boots for AC.
Well, Arteezy this time gets the double damage rune.
A little bit scary, but they don't. Their lanes are never in a good spot.
And he's got no
zero
vision.
PTs.
Like if you just want to look at the dire wards, they got one ward down on their bottom lane, like near where their shrine used to be, and it's affected by darkness.
Yep, doesn't matter. Have darkness. You can see 3 trees. Woohoo! 0 out of 10 value.
I swear. Can we please make it?
So he's going hard on PL anyways, despite there being Necrophos. I mean, it's not great, it's not awful. It's just there's no great item for him right here. Like Abyssal's okay, but it's not defense. Scotty is okay, but you're still have problems with dealing with the True Strike. So I think Heart is the best item if you're just gonna spam lances and throw them at supports. So because RTZ still doesn't have True Strike, so he's gonna have a lot of issues dealing with it. It's just not so great versus Necrophos. Necrophos probably needs it. Like he needs more Reapers.
Yeah,
but he can't. Like he's also just worried about dying too.
Is it still worthwhile going in for the Academics like this late to the game? For Necro?
He needs a cooldown reduction, I would say.
Yeah. But then you got to give up something.
I think you give up your pipe. Like, what magic damage is there for him right now? What magic damage is he taking?
He'll still need to get the BT so they can deal first with a split push and defend their base.
Yeah, I think BOTs
so that's fine.
BOTs into Scepter, I think, would be my choice for him.
Yeah.
You can also go Refresher, but Refresher's I would prefer Scepter. It's just more reliable. Yeah, kind of throw him out.
It's a shame he can't have like extra item slots for himself. Like if you consume your Scepter, new activatable, like the 40-minute runes to give us like action moments. Once you hit 60, certain items can be consumed.
Well, remember the last time we added in Axe can be consumed. That led to the Alchemist phase, which everybody hates. So I don't think we're going to get that.
I don't know if I really hated that phase, actually.
Well, you are a special guy, Toby.
Thank you, Malini. Thank you.
Special.
We'll use the nice definition of special this time around.
You are unique, sir.
Unique, yeah, I like unique. Unique is better.
Eccentric.
I like that word actually. Eccentric is a wonderful word.
Eccentric
the one word you never want to be described as is interesting. Like that movie was interesting.
Well, if you pause like that and give it the, it was
Interesting.
If you pause, yeah, it's gonna be negative. If you're like, oh, you're very racing, that's not bad. It's all in the connotation, man.
How many times do you hear people use the word interesting in a positive way?
Yeah, it's like probably like 9-1.
It's a lot different with me. It's always a word of derision.
And there's also a lot, what else is there? Yeah, there's your mental. Mental can be good or bad. It is usually bad.
Mental on my side is always pretty good.
You've gone mental is always bad though.
Yeah. Well, then you're nuts. Off the rails. Small issues.
Not liking EG's chances here.
See, I'm still sitting on the other side of the fence going, hey, you know what? If EG defend from base with buybacks and they can get a good scythe kill and just have Mineski down for a while, like...
That's the only thing you can rely on, though, because AM is... Yeah. It's past his time. His time to destroy people is like 30 to 45. And it's 56 minutes now, so it's kind of well past that phase.
True.
And I think that Mineski have been playing very well around the Reapers. They have multiple BKBs. The global silences have come out like right when he's about to cast it, probably during mid-cast animation a lot. They have multiple Lincoln Spheres too, so he can't really cast it very early on in the fights.
But pushing into this, like, yeah, I agree with you. Mineski's team fights have been absolutely superb throughout this entire series. But you're still going high ground against evil geniuses. Like last time it was easier because you had dead heroes on EG when they try to come out and try to fight. But if EG can get a better position against them, you're still gonna have two cores doing more work. Yeah,
better position. You're playing against Night Stalker, dude.
Yeah, okay, yeah, there is no better position.
There is no better position.
Hey, this is the point where I'm being Mr. Positive. It's an interesting draft. Where they can,
it's
where
not
they
a
can
bad
win.
draft. The Necrophos died too many times, and then they didn't have their two cores hitting their peak at the same time. He went for Radiance, and then he had like Radiance plus like one or two other items at like 35-40 when AM really wants to be pushing high ground. And the Mirana got two farms. She had that MKB at that critical moment on bottom when AM had Aegis. That if she did not have MKB there, possibly could have been EG victory already.
Note to the item to this in quick buy of the it's going MKB. What do you even switch out for this?
Probably Battle Fury.
Like, do you switch out Battle Fury, or do you just say, like, oh, I burn my BKB and I switch the items mid-fight?
Actually, it could be Manta. Because
But you still need to break free of the silence and everything else being thrown at you.
Well, if you're tanky enough, you can just stand there. The Crippling Fear mischance doesn't matter if you have MKB. It might not be that bad. I'm not saying it's great. I'm just saying...
It's an option.
It's an option.
It's an interesting choice.
You could also switch out Butterfly.
Maybe, but that's his own move. That's the only movement speed he's really got to work with at the moment.
Yeah, that's true.
He's going to see himself to bottom lane anyway, so that's easy. We'll continue the sprint. We'll get our answer anyway. That's all EG have to do is keep the creep wave out of their base and then look for a good fight, while Mineski, all they want to do is look for a good fight, and the creep waves will push themselves in.
Yeah, I think you just drop the BKB when you're farming out waves for sure. I don't know about team fights. Yeah, you might just BKB and then immediately swap to MKB in a team fight.
Looks like EG's grouping up once more for another smoke.
It's a good time.
Yeah. Well, you do have two aggressive wards. They're not inside the base, however. One sitting on the top lane, and the other one's on that hill on the bottom lane. So EG can be watched as far as the side lanes go. Oh, look, Blink Dagger.
They just need one good Reaper. Ideally on Mirana, I would say. Because Mirana has the MKB, so she's far more likely to kill the anti-mage.
You're still going to try and find a way to get that damage in while fighting around Lincoln Sphere.
All it takes is just one slight misstep from him, though.
Well, it could happen. Roshan's popping up in a second. And ED will want to pop in and grab that if it's possible.
Nah, they have Rocket Flare, dude.
Yeah, okay, yeah, you got Rocket Flare and you got Night Stalker.
And you have PL Illusions to also be super annoying inside the pit. So I don't think they're going to get it for free. And Mineski are just waiting for nighttime. Man. Oh, the double damage.
The arrows.
Okay, nope, no double damage.
All of them going to miss. Invis Ring is to be taken from Necro, and it's a haste rune for Bushi on bottom.
Everyone's looking for that double damage. Where is it?
You need to get the double rune. Like, you hold on to the double damage until the next rune's going to spawn up and boom, boom.
That would be ideal.
It would be ideal.
So let's see. Roshan is up. Flair's already in there.
Yeah.
Arteezy going to start.
Okay.
Ooh.
So doing it while Vision is
Spicy.
still up, and well, I don't think he's really got another choice. They know they need. Well, actually, they even need the Aegis Immortal. There's not a slot for it unless he drops the mana style.
No, but it makes Reaper a lot more valuable when there's no Aegis on the table.
That is true. Arrows fly forward. EG dodging it perfectly. Roshan's falling quickly. 2.8k. Here comes the Moonlight Shadow. Push forward. Global Silence is up. Has been. But yet the hook shot right into the back lines. The perfect hit. But Crit able to walk away. Roshan still licking his wounds, but EG got what they want. Pull him out of the fight and scythe down Mushi without losing any heroes. Arteezy is keeping the rest of Mineski pretty well occupied, burning up the mana. The arrow will connect. 3 seconds on the stun. A quick force up. Buying space for Arteezy. Now he turns around and attacks. Burns off all the mana on Ice. Mana Void's available. It won't be enough for a kill. They've lost Fear. Crit still low. The silence is doing its work for the moment. And Arteezy, the low or trigger won't matter when Moon just is cannoning down all of the G. Ultra kill for the Mirana, who needs no DD. Moon has just done it. This arrow can connect as well, which it won't do so. The 4-star pushes Universe far enough away. They'll go back in, bringing down Roshan. Side less effective. Moon now has the Aegis Immortal. A quick lance up. Fear is slowed. But EG is on retreat.
They should have given the Aegis to Mushi, because Mushi doesn't have buyback. And then Moon should have taken the cheese. I don't really think there was any real risk of EG going in there at that point, but still, there is the opportunity for EG to win if they kill Mushi one more time.
Yeah, that's 7-minute buyback status cooldown with the... What would it actually end up being now? Like, it's going to be almost like shy of like the 2.5 minutes?
I would
if he
say
gets hit by Scythe?
If he gets hit by Scythe, I would say it's even longer. So this fight is really weird. It splits up into two. Great hookshot coming out. Arteezy's keeping everyone else busy. Mushi doesn't have BKB. He's at like half health. He comes out of Invis and just dies. He gets Reapered and he's just put in the grave for 130 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
And
well, Arteezy has all the fun.
He only has so many cooldowns, though. He's going to get hit by Crippling Fear after Crippling Fear after Crippling Fear. Eventually, his Manta's down. And he's just going to be like they have a Lotus on him to take off the next one, and then he just gets silenced again. GG.
It's when he almost needs to have something fly back the other way. It's like give him an Aghanim Scepter, but he doesn't want to have that. Here comes the Moonlight Shadow. Mineski looking for an easy way up. Arteezy switched out the Battle Fury into MKB, so he's in combat mode for now. Not great for the clearance, but that's where he's got Fear. Wonderful Ice Pump and Macro Pyre. They cannot keep him controlled in position. Arrows fly forward, 5-second stun onto Universe, but Mineski still unable to go up. The mid lane is being pushed in. Sumail will have to move over to deal with this. Buyback's only available for Pugner at the moment, so Universe, the only one that can be brought back to life. But he's the man that can also give life with that life drain. Triggers off the Lincoln Sphere, trying to keep Moon low, and now they're actually chaining their Lincolns out. Mushi is giving protection to Moon.
I would say that's about even.
Oh, another good arrow. Both Arteezy and Universe hit by that one.
They traded Global for BKBs, so when BKBs cool down, they have to back out, which is going to be pretty soon. Looks like just 10 seconds left.
They burned through 3 Lincolns on Moon, and now the drain, the damage! That's quick, that's fast, but that's Aegis. They need more. Arteezy looking for the Invisible Blade hit, but the timing! Jabs is in with the clockwork, a perfect hook shot, but the target was already forced-staffed away. Moon will end up falling. Arteezy with huge amount of money, because yeah, he needs it. Looking for more into the corner, on the kill on Jabs. A 4-star up starts to TP, but instantly bashed. They'll have a fall back EG. The lanes are being pressured. PL went bottom. And then the middle lane's already being pressured by the bigger creeps.
Yep, they have really good ways of breaking Lincolns from afar. Especially now that Pugna finally has his good items, the cast range and the
Aghanims and Ether Lens together.
Yeah, so he can just like he forced that from super far away to Crep. Like he could pop all the Lincolns or it's only
he had 3 protections. I think they got like the double charge of it at the timing of it.
Oh, Jabs actually sold his Midas. Oh no! He sold his Midas for a Lincoln Sphere. But he can just life drain. There goes your Lincoln Sphere, so. Luckily for Mineski, Moon did not get weird.
Okay. I was just wondering if we'd actually pull out of that or not with Arteezy nearby. Can they actually force the buyback on the Marana? Do you even do it? Like, do you even accept the fact like your mid-racks may die to Arteezy?
You do not sacrifice the Marana playback for this. 20 seconds is just...
Yeah. I suppose you got fortification too, so there is enough defense here for Mineski.
I mean, T3 doesn't really matter. Their shrine's already down, so who cares? You sacrifice T3, you even sacrifice your melee point. Marana's buyback is far too important for that.
Well, Marana uses her money anyway. We'll pick BTs. Has the level 2 diffuser blade done and Moonshard into the quick buy. And that will be a fully 6-slotted Marana, apart from BTs too, but she's kind of got everything she's looking for.
I think now they probably need a split push when they're doing the racks. They have the BOTs.
Marana walking into this one. They got to trigger the Lincoln Spear quickly, and the stuns! Marana, Manastar, leap away! Moon needed to survive this and is able to do so. Mushi was in the back lines. He'll also bail out. That dire Observe Ward of EG, their first real aggressive ward in a long time, and it saw it coming from a mile away.
Where's the Night Stalker scouting out for them?
Hiding in base.
Yeah, he needs to be up out in the front because he's a Night Stalker after all. He doesn't have room for a gem though, so that's kind of a problem. I guess Jabs has a gem, so it's not that big a deal.
Now he's building into Abyssal. He's looking for his own control.
Well, he has good damage talents. He has the 15 to the 20 damage and attack speed, so it's natural for them to transition, especially at this point in the game. Crippling Fear cooldown is just way better than armor.
Yeah, he's got 4 seconds cooldown on Crippling Fear.
Yeah, you can
for
have
something which has a night duration of 8 seconds.
Yeah, so you just constantly want to spam it on the AM.
There's just other BTs now on Sumail. He is not saving any money at all, and rightly so. His buyback's on cooldown for another 2 minutes. But he's short by 2,000. 2 minutes for 2,000 gold? Yeah, maybe.
Ooh, Dagon 5 coming out soon for him.
Yeah.
That's big.
Right now he's on level 2, however.
Where the glimmers at, yo?
Protection.
Where the glimmers?
I see a halberd over on crit. That's a nice thing to, if he can close the distance on Marana.
Goes for breaking Lincolns.
Yep. Break Lincolns, get disarm. That's what he needs to have happen. Just Nether Strike into Halberd on the Marana, and you're removing a huge portion of the damage of Mineski. But Mineski, look for their target. There's a couple of AMs moving around. The smoke doesn't break, so they know they're fake. A quick Moonlight Shadow, and that one's real. Forstaff can't get Sumail out far enough, and the secondary one, that will, however, out of the cogs of Jabs. As the Moonlight Shadow Darkness lineup of Mineski run forward. They need to catch up to Evil Genius's Mushi. The Lancer's out with Diffuser Blade. Necro in trouble, but Ghost Shroud plus Lursaw breaks him free. The side falling down on the head, but it will not be enough damage. So Scythorn cooldown, more arrows fly out. Fearless play, catch, no Universe will do it instead. But EG are back to the safety of their home, if you can call that safety.
Burn a cheese, yuck. Not great for them. Diffusal charges this late in the game too are looking pretty healthy actually. They just both upgraded Diffusal too.
Well, they were saving those for a long time.
DD, get the DD.
Looking for the initiation on mid.
Oh yeah, there's no Reaper I guess for them, so it's still a little risky, I would say.
The arrows fly once more. Don't find their target. They look towards Mushi. Sumail having a little bit of trouble. Arteezy copying a couple of procs on that MKB. Problematic, and Clockwork's got hooked. Shot up, he jumps, catches two. The Colt, it pushes back the anti-mage. He'll break free of the global silence with that mana style. More arrows flying up. Won't hit their marks. 4 staffs and EG run away.
Global used.
Yep.
Staggering cooldowns. Just need a big arrow to connect. All these 4 steps are causing issues though.
This is an interesting time for this to happen because Roshan's about to spawn again.
Yeah.
Okay, he's going to be a minute and a half away, but that's almost the same time as Global Silence. And G smoke up. They're not going to let Roshan go uncontested, but both sides are looking for it. Easier for Mineski to look, but we're also in daytime and there's no darkness. 35 seconds on cooldown. Clockwork, Lincoln breaks pretty quickly, and then it's going to bring him out. The Nether Strike pushing him back, disarmed as well, and that's going to be a Reaper scythe kill. 130 seconds without a Clockwork. He'll spawn up. Just after Roshan has. And by Dire Courier.
Nice chicken snipe. Just a play mail, but it's super annoying this late in the game.
Especially when it's for poor little Fear. That was his Lotus.
Oh, yeah. Damn.
So
150 GPM talent. That's nice. I was like, they have any items?
Playing the catch-up game. Top net worth still obviously belongs to Arteezy, but it's all very ineffective net worth.
Yep. They also have GPM talent on crit too, so at least they're spreading the love a little bit. Who do I mean by they?
I don't know.
Yeah, I also don't know.
It's like the royal we. Wait, hang on. All right, another gem's being purchased. While it's available, may as well. And you've got the money, Mushi. Looking at a lot more conventional 6-slotted PL item build.
Still no great solution to deal with the 4 staffs though. Clockwork can only do so much, and now that there's like 3, 4, 5, 4.
Oh, lost an Observer War, but maybe they can get the gem. Ice just tickling into crit. The arrow will hit Arteezy from Moon. So no easy way for EG just to push straight in. But Roshan is now up and available. No way for EG to just easily move back and scout this. And they're looking for something else. Mid lane pushes in so they can attack through the top. Maybe they can force the buyback out from a Clockwork. Fortification is up for Mineski, and there's a lot of defense on the high ground. So yeah, they can't force Jack. They have to back out here. Arteezy very low on mana. The other problem of the PL illusions just running at him all the time. Amushi, he ain't backing out of it. More and more lances will fly, so will the arrows. A nice stun onto Samel. Protection has to be there.
And that's how you buy 30 seconds time for Clockwork to revive.
Yeah. And now EG have to look for something else. No double damage room, but they'll find the Arcane in the top river. But the Clockwork Rocket scouts out that Roshan is up, so Mineski know before EG know. But we're approaching maximum spawn time anyway, so Evil Geniuses will be aware that Roshan's alive. And here comes the Rocket once more.
Not as good as a Scepter, but still
70-second cooldown Scythe. Got a Mantra Illusions. Oh, sorry, just the Illusion Rune, sorry, from PL. Helps out a little bit. Nice arrow,
three in a row. Such is life.
That's because his dad never played catch with him. He has to play catch with the arrows. That Arteezy. We've seen this happen once before, where he starts up Roshan, trying to force out a fight. And he's going to continue until Mineski will lie. For now, copping another arrow to the face. They forced up him up and out of the... Well, where's the target? Samel pushes forward with the Shiva Scar, tries to throw up the global silence out. Mamoon, he's already fallen down. The issue is Samel's caught no hands. 2 minutes on the sideline. Jigger will join him. Does Samel want to bite back to contest Roshan? The answer is yes. BT's level 2. He'll jump forward and instantly catches the arrow from Moon. Universe, he's trapped on the back line, starts his own TP to escape from Mushi, but they want Samel. He'll be huge if they can bring him down. But Arteezy, he needs to also do some serious lifting. Crit's running out of mana, but it's up to the big hitter. Can Arteezy do it? He is bone dry on mana, he's bone dry on HP. He'll fight back too. EG throwing everything into the ring. They've got almost nothing left. The only one who hasn't bought back is the partner. Samel's on the run, far north, but he's on heavy pursuits. Universe, get the man life, drain it into him if you can possibly do it. He's draining it out of Ninja Boogie, so easy! The mana voice build damage is high. You'll find one, the 4-star, so we can blink forward and try and keep up with Moon. The movement speed from Leap, it's high, but the blink is back off cooldown. Close, which one's real? Now he knows the BTs. It's PL coming back to the fight on top of Ninja Boogie, who's gonna get bashed up, and the hard shot into the arrow! They hit the target! Arteezy's in trouble! Glimmer, protect him, force him, blink! He doesn't have the mana! Once again, there's nothing in the tank! Arteezy needs movement! After grab a fight, it's buying time! Diffuse like will burn up! Arteezy starts the fight! Universe can't give him enough life! Arteezy's down for over 2 minutes! Universe joins him in the afterlife! And Crit, he is so far from safety! He'll end up going down too with the lances flying forward! EG is starting their buybacks! but do they have enough to defend this? It is a tall, tall ask. They macropie to hold them off. That top tower, which can be brought down thanks to mid creep wave, is already pushed in. They go in deep. Mushi, he wants the target. He wants the mail. They'll be priority number one. They're getting close to it. All buybacks from EG have been expended. The top ranks has been destroyed. Jabs doesn't have his hook shot, and for now, it looks like Mineski will back up, but you know they're rotating bottom.
One set of Rex left. A full minute left of 3-on-5 at worst.
Here they come. Arrows. No one cops it from EG. They get the Lincoln's trigger over on Jabs. I hope Samael, he's looking for it. There's your side. Jabs will end up falling, but Samael, not going to be worth it when he has to give his life for that support Clockwork who can just buy back. And GG, well played. Mineski will take the game. They'll guarantee TI points as well as a spot in the semi-finals of the PGL Minor.
Well, Clockwork carried the first 30 minutes of the game, and then Mirana, I think, just really so much in the last half of the game. And a little bit of different role coming out from the Night Stalker, but when you need Night Stalker as your offlaner, Ice certainly delivered, helped out his team. Mushi didn't really like Shadow Blade, but still played pretty well in that latter half of the game. It is such a terrifying experience playing against the Reaper Scythe, and they handle the pressure admirably.
Yeah, they really, really did. That's a scary thing for any teams coming up against Mineski. The Clockwork players were positioning, the supports were so great, but it's the fact that it felt like they were able to run like 3 perfect controlling supports. And I'm counting Ice in this mix-up as well. Like, Vision was fantastic. The silences timing, as you were mentioning from Ninja Boogie, I kind of want to highlight that one even more. It's one of those things like, oh, where was the silence's real effect? You don't see him doing damage. You don't see him doing a lot of stuns. You're never going to really see his name called out in the fights. All you say is global silence, and that is it.
I tried to say his name as much as I could.
Yeah, you were trying to give him as much credit for the... Yeah, you're giving as much credit as you possibly can for the global silence. But Mineski, very, very deserving of the victory. They can enjoy their day off. And that is going to end our day. But, of course, we'll be back with the panel in just a bit.
Get the alpha, be the alpha.
What a great way to end day number 2 of the PGL Open in Bucharest with a fabulous game between Mineski and Evil Geniuses. Mineski coming through 2-0 in the end. They do make their way through to the semi-finals to join LGD from Group A. Tomorrow, of course, we'll see all 4 elimination matches. Before we get there, we've got some sleep to get in, and we thought we'd wrap up the final game of the day back with our panel members Fogged and Winter once more. Great game to finish things off. Really enjoyable. I know your hands were sweating at the end of that game. Like, you weren't even playing it.
I mean, it was really exciting. I was sitting next to SVG, like the EG coach. He was kind of silent for the majority of the game, but it's not because of anything. It's Mineski just played incredibly well. Like, I'm very impressed with the way that they've been improving. Jabs is honestly crushing it every single game. His clockwork is absolutely amazing. Ice as well, and Ninja Boogie. Like, how do you have only 2 deaths on a silencer that game? I'm like looking at like the stat.
Yeah, no, you're pouring over it. Well, we're going to watch some of the replays. Because there were just so many highlights in here on both sides. It was such a good game because it was that constant threat of Arteezy. Whenever he was around, they were very circumspect about him. Once he got very beefy, they would decide, okay, we need to be really careful. And they played around him so well.
Shadowblade PL. Dude, they won with Shadowblade PL. they actually won against EG with a Shadowblade PL.
You still can't get over that, can you?
What? He sold his Shadowblade for Dagger, so,
yeah.
You know, I think he realized.
Does it not count?
But still, he actually did it at one time because he had Shadowblade and the enemy didn't have detection. I mean, I've never seen anyone build Shadowblade.
What you have now?
And it won a game, so.
I mean, the guy buys Blade Mail at what his Medusa build. That was like, this is not even the weirdest thing I've seen from him. The Medusa build where he had Aghanim's Blade Mail and Hex.
That was the one at Starlighter, right?
Yeah, I was like, oh, what is happening? What is happening? And the same thing today. I saw a Shadowblade PL. I was watching like a friend and it's like, oh, PL has Shadowblade. I was like, huh? PL has Shadowblade? Is he serious?
But it worked. It sort of worked.
Well, it was a lot of things.
Yeah.
There was a lot of individual plays coming out. I think there was a lot of fights where you can look at it and break it down in a lot of different ways.
Yep.
We see like cheese usages coming out from this side. This fight in particular, the DD rune from the Mirana, just really started kicking.
I mean, he did like 6k damage in this fight.
How many DD runes did he get in the game?
He got like 3 within 6 minutes, I think it was that Ben was saying, in like just back to back pretty much. But there was some clutch cheese usages in the Roche area by Ice, so they kept that silence, reapplying it to Arteezy, and that's what actually brought him down in some of those instances.
I mean, some of these fights, Winter, were so close at times, weren't they? Both on both sides, where you thought, oh wow, they've got EG on the run, and then suddenly EG got some health, they got some position, and then suddenly they come back into the fight, and that surprises Mineski, and then they get caught out, and then our teammate come back in and help them, and then they're on the offense, and it was so much fun to watch.
Yeah, but you could see in this game, One Night Stalker is the top pick in the meta. When he reached so late into the game, how many times do you see that Mineski won the engage or they got a better engage because they just have better vision with the darkness, the NS.
This is the one where he uses cheese, turns around, gets another silence out in a second. Arteezy stays to man up for a bit, but gets re-silent again from that crippling fear cooldown. I mean,
this is the point I think Ben said in the commentary. You know, it's 60 minutes. Like, he's lost his window now of domination. It's gone. So he aren't as effective and terrorizing as he was 20 minutes before that.
Because AM already did his peak, and the reason why we always see PLs losing to AM is because AM farms a lot faster. You hit your peak and you end the game.
Yeah.
But this game, it wasn't the case. The AM couldn't end the game, so the PL was allowed to catch up. And those, like the level 25 Mirana, it was just so difficult for them to fight. Anytime in a team fight, arrow connecting on 2 heroes.
I mean, we haven't mentioned Moon very much, but what a game from him.
He played incredibly well.
He led so many good arrows, and his itemization that game, he went for like full damage, no BKB. He had no BKB that game.
Yeah.
The balls on that guy, he knew he needed to be the guy doing the damage because Mushi on the PR wouldn't be able to do so much. He's like more like the distraction up front with the Night Stalker. Both of them are going to take the attention away from the Mirana, and Mirana has to be that glass cannon hero in this game.
He did 44,000 damage.
And 17-3-11 for Moon.
His early game, the early game arrows were so on point.
They were, weren't they? They were really a joy to watch. When
When
you know how hard they are to land from a distance as well. There was one on the bottom lane where I don't know, he knew there was a guy down there.
The first one,
it was like about 4 minutes in, and it was such a good arrow.
Arteezy was like getting he has no boots. He was rushing his battle free. Mushi teleported top to pressure. He teleported bottom. He went bottom to farm with no boots, almost battle free, and he just got.
He literally landed
got
in
the
it.
arrow.
Yeah.
He was going to the creeps to farm and
full stun.
Bam! 5 seconds.
500 gold from I think the broadsword to finish the battle fury and dies. So
that was a very very big kill in the early game.
Yeah,
so
it was
big.
fantastic set of arrows. He was also our MVP as well. So I think that's pretty much deserved. You've made the point that Jabs has had a great series again. Yeah. He got our MVP in the first game, so I think he might have been a potential MVP for the second one as well.
Yeah, I think Nana, though, like, we can give it to him just because he carried the game, right? Jabs set up for that, but that's his job as a support. And
don't forget,
we give Nana some credit.
Forget how difficult he had in the lanes. He actually got trash in the lane.
Yeah.
And he did that in the game.
Yeah. I mean, the second half, you wouldn't have known. You wouldn't have known that he'd had a rough first half of the game. So, yeah, fantastic result. Let's take a look at the bracket and show you how things have panned out. In Group B, we've had 3 matches today, of course. 2 left in both of the groups. Earlier on today, we saw both of the games go all the way to the wire. Neville Genesis coming through 2-1 against VGJ Thunder, and Na'Vi going down in 3 to Mineski. That's how we ended up into this upper bracket final. Mineski now moving on to the semi-finals with LGD already from yesterday. EG will now drop down and wait to see who they play. And those elimination matches are coming up tomorrow. 4 best of 3s tomorrow, gents.
Fun day.
Fun
it's
day. Elimination day is always the fun day.
Because every game matters now. Every game from here on in. Like, if something happens, a team goes home or a team advances.
Today was a long day, and I feel like it may have today might have actually been longer than tomorrow
Maybe.
will be. Even though we had we have less series, we had two 80-minute plus, or almost 80-minute plus games.
Yep. Been a fun day. Highlights for you?
Highlights for me, I think, this series.
Yeah.
I was really surprised by
that last game as well.
Yeah, I was very surprised by how well Mineski played, and very surprised how they were able to beat the anti-mage with the PL. So yeah, that game was my highlight today.
Yeah. Okay.
Just the massive improvements from Mineski overall, I would say. Yeah.
Good stuff. Good to watch it as well. Thank you very much, gents. We are at the end of our second day here at the PGL Open Bucharest. I hope you've enjoyed the Dota 2 set. I've absolutely loved it. It's been fantastic. Can't wait for the next 2 days when things get very serious indeed. We'll back tomorrow for 4 best of 3s, and every single match counts. We'll see you then.
Get the alpha, be the alpha.